know why other Pokemon types are inferior. It's just simple. It's just simple science.
I was so disappointed when I saw him because I was like, well, I guess I'm not evolving Sobble now. That's the thing. I kind of hate all the evolutions.
Yep. They should have just kept Charizard. You only need one starter, and it's Charmander for every game. You just get the one starter in the next one, and it's Charmander.
They have Charizard show up so quick in this game.
Yes.
And he's the only old starter that they didn't cut.
Which is good, because Charizard is the only good and cool Pokemon.
God.
Or the coolest and best, obviously.
So, like, I love that people are pissed off about Pokemon because it's funny watching babies be mad about things, but I don't like the part where they're, trying to get devs fired for shit they never said or did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, while I do enjoy the fact that the Pokemon fan base is butthurt to the nth degree, y'all need to chill the fuck out. It's just a baby game. You're starting to sound like Smash fans who think they're playing a fighting game.
The ride of this game has been unbelievable because there was so much anger, so much negativity, and then it comes out and 90% of the people are like, oh wait, this game's fucking great, cool.
It's literally the fucking Call of Duty bullshit. Like where, I'm boycotting it day one, I'm not playing it, it's gonna be awful, the National Dex, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Day one, every fucking buddy on the list is playing it.
But there's still like that small percentage that's still angry and is boycotting, and they just look so silly now.
They really do. They look so fucking sad. Stop eating the pixie sticks, cat! Stop it right now. It's nonsense. You're being a buffoon.
Why do you have pixie sticks?
There's a cat eating pixie sticks.
Did you buy pixie sticks?
Oh, no, it's Zenitoto's cat. It's just, I'm telling Zenitoto's cat to stop eating pixie sticks. Like, that's fucked up.
I thought you were doing, like, a new phrase. Like, this phrase, bitch eating crackers?
Oh, that's what I do. That's me all the time. That's my new phrase. Stop eating pixie sticks! That's my new fucking catchphrase.
When people are enjoying a thing you don't want them to enjoy, you say, stop eating the pixie sticks.
All right, that's going to be my new thing from now on. That's it. That's my new thing. Stop eating the pixie sticks!
Because that was like 2 bits of Polly lore there. Is just like, wait, Polly has a cat? And then, wait, Polly pies pixie sticks?
I like pixie sticks.
They're just sugar in a tube.
Yes, it is. Sugar in a tube. It's sugar in a tube that is also got sour stuff.
It's the Pokemon of candy.
It's the Pokemon.
It's for babies.
It's for babies.
Life is good. I've got my peach tea. I've been getting a lot of different herbal teas lately, and they're making me feel good.
Can I express some anger?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna express some anger because I'm fucking funny, right? I'm hilarious, like all the fucking time. So I put backbreaking work yesterday into a tweet. Backbreaking work. I busted out Adobe Premiere. I uploaded this shit to YouTube. 1 like.
Oh god, that joke.
1 like. 1 fucking like. And it was from Colin. 1 like.
Aww.
1 like.
Which one was it?
It was the Shantae one.
Uh-huh.
It's funny.
Did see that.
It's funny.
A few hours.
It's funny. It's very funny. Because it sounds like he's saying "ret to go," but he's not. That's not what he's saying.
He's not. I honest to God thought he was.
No, he's saying "red to go."
Oh.
But it's funny because when you associate it with Shantae, see you
hear it differently.
Go. Yeah.
Who's Rhett? Which Rhett?
No, it's the
I'm a Shantae character.
It's a weird meme they tried to force in those games since the first one that's never stuck, and like I guess they wanted everybody to run around saying it, thinking that it was cool or something.
Oh, Ret to go is the thing that Shantae says.
Go. Like they think that's real. Like I guess that and they've been doing that since the Game Boy Color one. So you know that they wanted that to catch on, and they've just still been trying so hard. Bless their little stupid
says it
hearts.
At the start of each game, it's inoffensive.
But they really want it to stick, and it never will. It never will. Who says Ret to go?
Getting those good Shantae meme, for Shantae meme ASMR
There you
tingles.
go. There you go. So it's a hot take,
I
and
think
it's
what kills
ASMR.
me.
Yes.
I'm watching that video again now, the Ret to Go edit that you did, and I was like, Jesus Christ, did her boobs always shake that much?
Yes, they did. It's just the sprite is really
Oh my
small, but when you
God.
blow it up real
You
big,
can't. It's really fucking distracting. That's why I missed the like button.
I left a Sakura on it.
You did. You
in
did.
the Discord.
In the Discord, yes. You see.
That's true. And
But-
Fresno and Carmi left. Is that the Kindred Spirits character?
Which
The
one?
Rock?
I don't
The
know
Rock.
I don't know what the Rock is from. I saw it pop in there one day as being one of our emotes, and I never knew what it was from. Like, I fucking half the emotes I didn't know we even have. Like there's
a lot.
there's like 75 Love Live emotes, and I fucking hate Love Live. Like, why is this a thing? Why is that a thing in my Discord?
I see Rock now.
Yeah. I think that's the Kindred Spirits character.
Is it?
So you got two VNs you love right there.
I played Kindred Spirits. I don't remember a Rock.
I don't think the character's name is Rock. I think it's the one girl the DJ girl, and it's her going like, Rock, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. I don't pay attention. It's it's not even my Discord
I'm
server
trying to
anymore.
reverse Google image search it.
It's like it's not even my Discord server anymore because I gave it to somebody else to run. I was like, I don't want to do this. It's too much work.
I mean, everybody's chilling there, so.
See, like, and other
Mostly.
people have pulled in the Rock emote too, apparently. So
I only put in one emote. I've only made one in any of the servers I'm in.
I don't think I've made any. Did I make the Uzume one, or did somebody else put that one in there? I don't fucking know.
You could just will it into existence. Like, I wish there was an Uzume emote.
Yeah, like, it's a good Uzume emote. It's real good.
It is. I like the fart one. Our emotes are good.
Our emotes are good. I'm not saying take the 572 Love Live emotes away. Y'all can have them. I don't care. I was just like, as somebody who hates Love Live, I'm just really kind of bewildered. Okay, it's Yoka. Okay.
Yeah, I
See,
told you.
I never. Well, here's the thing.
Oh.
I didn't even play that game, Paul.
Discord did not make their emotes bigger until a recent update. So now they're bigger. And I can see what it is. See, I could never tell what that was because it was so small.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking to some... Look, I got 80-year-old vision, okay? It's fine. I admit... Look, I'm old. It's okay.
I get it.
We get it.
Do you want to do just all right, the whole podcast can now just be like a step-by-step review of all of our emotes?
Let's just break it down. Let's break it down for
How many
everybody.
Love Lives are there?
Okay,
Let me get a window
Monkey.
capture going here so we can get all the emotes up on screen.
I think I see 3 Love Lives.
I think, man,
Why is
I
there
think that,
Lapras?
why?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
What?
Wow, who put that
That
here?
one in there.
How did that get in here?
Let's go ahead and...
Yeah,
I'll
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Don't worry. I'm on this one.
You're on this one? Got it.
Okay, there is. I see the other Love Lives
I do like
now.
the Sakuya. I do like the Macho Man. Because Randy Savage is appropriate for every situation.
I could definitely do without
Okay.
those 101s.
All right,
What?
thanks, Carmi. Carmi put in the Lapras.
Oh.
Did you just
That's
delete it?
Oh, yeah. It's
No, he
fun.
just went in there and was like,
That's-
with a righteous vengeance. Our Cherno
I couldn't
emote, our Cherno emote is great.
I couldn't delete...
That's a fart.
Lapras.
Let me see why it farted at me. Celestial Blade, thank you for this subscription. You're lovely.
I could
Oh,
not
see, that
will...
means-
I want to hug you.
Of course.
Hey, why
Get
is this
over
one
here.
called Wednesday?
Bring it in. Let's get a hug. Let's go. The Wednesday emote's pretty good.
Yeah. Life is good.
What was that?
I couldn't will Lapras out of the national decks for the new game, so I can at least will it out of our...
You've
can't
got
wait
you've
till
got
I find
control
out.
here. You've got control
Yeah.
here. Wait, I don't have Mizuki Pipe. Oh shit! I need to get that.
Well, now there's one space available.
I need to get Mizuki Pipe on Franker Phase Z. because we have Mizuki's pipe now, but it's in After Fives. Franker Phase Z. I don't have it in mine yet.
Gotcha.
John's like, I don't fucking care or know what that is. So fucking whatever.
Those were filler. That was a filler. Gotcha.
That was a filler. Yeah, good. Just trying to like to keep it from being dead air.
Yeah, just like no, it's like prompting along. I'm being, it's polite, being polite.
We got two man modes in here though. See, those are nice.
Cerno, Shada, Love Live.
Yeah, we're just fucking playing in Discord. I love it. This is nothing anybody can actually see if you're not in the Discord, but Cherno just shot a Love Live, and I'm stoked for that.
We'll start the podcast in like 3 minutes once you get some Mizuki pipe in there.
I'm too lazy to go to Franker Phase Z right now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay,
start the podcast. Fucking hold on. I will hold up our goddamn podcast to throw another fucking Franker Phase Z emote that only like 3 people are going to use because only 3 of you fuckers use Franker Phase Z.
Oh, I thought you were going to put it in the Discord.
No, I'm going to put it on my fucking channel. Oh, fuck off.
I don't use Franker Phase Z. I'm not even in the Twitch right now.
Get in the fucking Twitch chat. How are you going to pay attention to the Twitch chat and not even be in it, you dummy? You gigantic buffoon. Okay, search Mizuki pipe.
I am glad the wacko is still here. No, we just need to keep all this in the final.
This would be a delete and unsubscribe. I am done. There's one worst idea of all time episode where they are very clearly just super high. And it's the most obnoxious, like there's no train of thought that's ever carried to any completion. And it's unlistenable. And then at the end they have a little disclaimer like, okay, we kind of decide we really thought hard about not uploading this one, but we really think y'all need the full experience. And then apologizing it for like the next 4 episodes. And I was like, thank you.
Oh no. Somebody use it. Oh.
Yoko Turno! For the Yoko Taro over the toilet emoji. Yoko Turno.
Oh my god. Oh, it turns out Polly's not the one high.
Oh man, that one got me. All right. That was just my natural laugh. That's my natural sober laugh. Actually got like hyperventilated a little bit there.
I muted myself. That was good. That's good podcast material there.
All is well. Look, we need to get to the important stuff here, and that's me complaining about this awful game I'm playing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sockscast episode 106. How'd that happen? I'm your good pal, Polly. Welcome. We are brought to you, as always, by Moon Pies. Moon Pie, we hate Jeff Bezos as much as you do. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming out, spending your Sunday with us. Monday, if you're listening to the download, like a sucker.
I mean, they could be listening to the download on any day, even Wednesday.
Customizing the podcast to suit your own needs.
I really had it in my head. Moon pies, a better way to cook.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I have a plastic spoon this time. I can throw that.
Very good.
What is it? No one listens to this thing anymore, huh?
No, I don't. I think, like, yeah, nobody. We do this for our own our own amusement now. I think people stopped listening because I don't bother muting the farts or alerts. I just leave them in. It's like, I think that they're, like, a wonderful part of the broadcast. I think they add a lot to what we're doing. So, first things first, want to get something out here.
Okay.
It's getting to be that time of year again. You know what that means? It's the end of the year. And we're going to be doing the big old dumb stupid end of the year lists. And guess what? We want all of you out there to once again be part of it, just the same way that you have the last 4 years or 5 years we've done this dumb stuff. So, in order to do that, you're going to want to get yourself a Game of the Year list together. It consists of 3 video games that you played this year. They don't have to have been released this year.
They don't have to be video games.
Yes, they do.
They should probably be video games.
They should probably be video games, or we are going to have a problem.
Agree to disagree.
Don't test me, Thayer. Don't test me.
I mean, it's user lists. They don't really count.
Oh man, Rhett!
If you just want to put Simple Gear on there, I ain't gonna complain.
They're all just Nier Automata again.
I'm just gonna rage quit. I'm just gonna rage quit in the middle of the fucking Game of the Year this year. That's what's gonna happen. Everybody's just gonna fuck with me now. It's just like, oh look, I put my favorite blowjob as my favorite game this year. Yay!
My favorite game is the Cardigan song. It's my favorite game.
Oh my god!
As long as I don't deliberately mispronounce the email you submitted at over and over, then I think we're good.
So, get yourself a list of 3 games together, and then what you want to do then is write 1 to 3 sentences about each one. Let's not go overboard here. Let's not write a novel. If you are egregious, if you are what I would call egregious in your bloviating about your favorite dumb thing, we will edit that down a little bit for air, because none of us like reading. Reading is a cancer to all of us. Our eyes will literally fall out.
Very hard to do.
It's hard. It's so hard.
You might start uncontrollably laughing at somebody's list, and that wouldn't be nice.
Unless they're Joan of Arc biographies.
So,
continue.
So get your list together. Your 3 games.
Bye.
Write 1 to 3 sentences on each. And I want you to send that to podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net. So, looking at our calendar here, which I'm going to do live on the air, we've only got 1 more normal episode left in the year, which will be December 8th, which will be December 9th if you're going by the download date. And we will probably be recording the Game of the Year, end of the year stuff around probably the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, somewhere around there. So we're going to want to have your stuff probably at the latest by the 14th. So, one more time for the people in the back, what I want you to do, get you a list of games together, top 3 that you played this year. They don't have to have been released this year. If you played it, you liked it this year, boom, it's on the list. It counts. Get that list together. Write 1 to 3 sentences about each one. Good. We're still good, right?
Yeah,
this is easy to follow. All right.
People are definitely going to write more than 1 to 3 sentences. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, I know.
Don't.
I know.
And we're telling
and
you
if we really like you,
and
if we really like you, we'll just read it anyway because we play favorites here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, come on.
Also, if you write about one of our games, which you should, because they kicked ass this year.
Yeah.
Then
we
you can write
extra special read it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if your Game of the Year is just one of my Mario Maker levels, I understand.
Oh yes, I said our games this year.
Yeah.
I was like.
Right. So get all that together. All that together. And send it to podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net. John Thayer, what is that email address again?
Oh God. podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
Rhett, what is that address again?
podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
All right.
Well, you just said it, and John still almost fucked it up.
Just proof that he does not pay attention.
He was muted and caught off guard.
I was muted and like trying to write down a list to remember. Never mind. I was making a game of the year note. I was just like, wait a minute.
So yeah, get those to us sometime around the 14th. I will have a finalized date for that sometime within the next couple of days. I'll be putting a notice on the site about getting your list submitted to. So we'll have like a finalized date. But yeah, I'm thinking we're probably going to record end of the year stuff around the 14th or the 15th, more than likely. Looking at the calendar anyway.
So what are we doing? Are we doing anything with Game of the Decade?
That will be next year. That will be.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that yet.
We're gonna do games and anime of the decade.
Okay.
And those will be two separate. Those will be two separate things.
And those will be next year, like as in like January, February.
January, February, somewhere around there.
Good. That'll give me a little more time to. Yeah. I want to check in back in on a couple things.
Yeah.
Ollie, I have a question.
Yo, what's your question?
Yeah. Remember when we did the 5th year anniversary? People were able to record their own message and send it to us.
Yeah, you know what? I keep I've told people, yo, you could do that on the regular and send us stuff. That'd be fun. You could do that.
So if you want to read your game of the year list and just send it to us as an MP3.
Yeah, like you can do that. If you want to send us an MP3 of you reading your game of the year list, if you want to sing your game of the year list, there you go.
Make a whole song out of it.
I'm gonna limit you to 5 minutes.
Oh boy. Wally,
oh man, that's very generous.
That's very generous, I know, but look, giving somebody 5 minutes to talk or sing is a hell of a lot easier than us having to take 3 to 5 minutes to read because we're too stupid. But again, do it however you want. Again, I'll have all this hammered out and on the site in the next day or two. If you can't piece it all together now from all this gobbledygook. But yeah, we'll get right on that very soon, just for you. So get it in, get ready, get to thinking about it.
Lists are fun.
Lists are fun. Lists are great. Everybody freaking loves them.
What is the point of engaging with media if not to create wonderful lists?
Exactly.
Like that's the reason we do this whole thing, right?
What is media consumption except Mortal Kombat? It's just Mortal Kombat. Like if this thing is good, then the other thing can't be good. Fatality. Get the fuck out of my life. I don't need
media consumption is like Mortal Kombat in that we should just play Mortal Kombat and not really bother with anything else.
Especially Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2.
That game's very good.
I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah, I imagine you are. You wouldn't be having a great time if you were playing against me. It would end very badly for you. We could make this happen on a stream sometime if you'd like.
I would love that.
All right, let's see if we can figure that out.
It probably wouldn't look that much more embarrassing than me just playing the AI.
That's right. Except I won't be able to cheat. Like I won't be able to throw you out of the middle of an uppercut.
Yeah, that's about how it goes. Oh man.
Maybe we'll make that happen. To my immediate virtual right, he is the Sockscast's cookie dough. It's Rhett.
Aw. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Because he's delicious and soft.
Exactly.
That's funny. I
had
the idea.
Want it in my mouth.
Great. Oh my god! And then a subscription comes in.
Hey,
so anyways,
because you shouldn't eat them raw.
I had a segue and it's like 5 miles away now.
I forget how this started.
You were talking about streaming Mortal Kombat 2, and I had thought that would be funny if we just did a podcast while playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I want to play dive kick against some people again.
There you go. And it's a hell of a lot easier to do now that you can do remote play and you don't even need to own the game.
Oh, right.
We need to try that.
I wonder how bad the upload.
Try Blazing Chrome. We'll try Blazing Chrome later.
Oh boy.
It'll be fun. That game's good. More people should play it. To my immediate virtual left, he is the toilet that needs cleaning. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
Wow. That's quite the intro.
Like I said, these things just kind of pop off the top of my head. I don't know.
John Thayer, a better way to cook.
And John's got poop off the top of his head.
John, no, you are not a better way to cook. I have seen your cooking, and there's like one thing you make that I would eat.
Okay, let's go down the list here. What is the one thing?
It's the soup.
The hot and sour soup?
Yes.
Have you seen my chili? My chili's really good.
I'm not a big chili fan. It's mostly the
Oh.
beans. I can't do beans. It's
Oh,
bad
fair
texture. Just kind of makes me gag for some reason. Like,
Okay,
the thing
fair
is,
enough.
I like beans, but I literally can't eat them because they do something to my gag reflex, and I don't know why.
Gotcha. I couldn't go much like Rhett.
Much like... Why couldn't you? It's funny if you do. You let all that stuff out. You just say it on this
Thank you.
podcast, John.
Yeah, have you seen my Mapo tofu? It's really good.
Yeah, like okay, I could do mappa tofu. That stuff's
Okay.
good. That shit's real
What about
good.
my great sandwiches?
Those things? And like you mentioned the sandwiches, and like a brief image of them flashed in my mind, and I just literally died. That's the most genuine response you're getting from me right
I've had
now.
like 3 or 4 of those a week for 3 years. They're so good.
Thank you for the subscription, Reds.
And that's all the things I know how to make.
No disasters here.
Yep.
Yeah, I can eat lentils.
It's a good sandwich.
It's-
I don't know why everyone is so mean to my sandwich. I get the beets thing. The sandwich is a good sandwich.
The sandwich looks... I can't... Like, it's... I've never seen a more pathetic sandwich.
Oh my god! It's just bread and toasted bread, melted cheese, salami, spicy mustard, and jalapeno peppers.
But it's
great.
just like the way you presented it. There was no... It just kind of looked like somebody ran over a slice of cheese.
Oh my god!
And, like, that's all it looked like to me.
Somebody killed a piece of cheese and all its guts
And
came
its
out.
guts are just laying there all over the place. The bugs have already gotten to it.
Oh my god! And I had the sriracha on it on top, so I got the spicy stuff too.
Yeah, so, like, maybe if it was presented a little more clean. Like I don't know. Like, I just think the way that you presented it, it wasn't the best.
The
showing.
jalapenos perfectly spaced apart, mustard on top.
Bad. I think Poncho Smith, who is an expert at plating, that's what he does. I think that he would agree that the plating left a little to be desired.
What would you suggest to improve the plating on my great sandwich, Polly?
I'm not the plater.
Oh, so you're a critic. You don't have anything to back that up. You just say it should be better. I don't know how. You just, maybe the plating could be better. Okay, Polly, wait. Let me pull out my notepad here. Get better plating. There you go. Get better plating on my great sandwich. Okay. Feedback duly noted. Thank you.
You could probably use a
constructive.
better camera as well.
It's an iPhone camera. Who needs a better camera than that?
The lighting was a little off.
Get better
Okay, let
lighting.
me
Get
pull
that
back
in
out
your
the
notebook.
notepad. Okay, get better plating, better lighting.
Like, buy an actual lighting rig for your sandwich.
Okay, buy a lighting rig. Okay, let me bring that up. Okay, that's about $120. Amazon purchase done. Good.
But
Now-
imagine how much better that tweet's gonna be, man. Imagine your engagement on that tweet now that we're putting some money behind it. We're getting some real work done for this tweet.
I think I'm gonna get the plating super on point. Lighting's
Just
gonna
get
be great.
plating.
And then
That's
I
all
think
you gotta
y'all are
do.
still gonna be mean to it because you're gonna be mean to my great sandwich, even because it's already great. There's nothing else I can do to improve the sandwich. My sandwich is a Mozart symphony where every note is exactly where it needs to be, and y'all are like, it needs more notes. Fuck you, it's perfect. This beautiful masterpice of a sandwich.
I never said anything bad about the sandwich. I want no part of this.
Okay, fair enough.
How do y'all feel about video games?
Hey, Rhett. you play games?
I played a video game.
Polly, you
Boom!
played a video
Shocking
game.
twist of fate. I'm gonna go first.
Go for
Okay.
it.
How about that? So, hey y'all. Now, I know
Okay.
that there's some people in this community here. We tend to like games every now and again. I guess now it's kind of like more of a long stretch of we kind of sort of tolerate them by our good pals over at Idea Factory / Compile Heart.
Oh.
How about our friends over there? How we feeling about Idea Factory and Compile Heart these days?
Well, I never liked any of their games. So.
Oof, oof, oof. Ouch.
Story and characters did nothing for me.
Nothing.
Slam the door.
I only mentioned the IF vert romance thing just to make you shut up. No,
nice.
but you might want to change your mind on that, Jetstorm, because I'm not going to talk about what you think I'm going to talk about. So, couple years ago for Vita, our good friends over at Idea Factory, Compile Heart, released a dungeon crawler called Mary Skelter Nightmares. It's an anime-inspired dungeon crawler, sort of like in the vein of, games like Etrian Odyssey, Seventh Dragon. I like games like that. Those are fun.
Yeah, Labyrinth of Toho too.
Yeah, and this is a game like that when it was first announced. Vita only release, the aesthetic and the premise, they immediately drew me in. I was just like, I like what this game's putting down with its aesthetic and its darker kind of vibe that it's going for. It's very, very, very teenager edgy kind of thing. And if you flavor that,
maybe.
If you flavor that just right, that can totally be my jam. That's the kind of the secret to snagging a poly. A lot of the times is if you can do edgy teenager bullshit, but you can do it well enough that it's not I don't know, too cringy, but I don't like the word cringe. I think it's a stupid, overused word. If you do it well and I believe it, if I can buy into it and enjoy it because it's stupid, then, hey, you can pull me in. And that's kind of vibe that when going into Mary Skelter Nightmares that I got. So, it's a game that didn't know was ever going to go anywhere other than the Vita, but recently, I think it was last year.
Yeah,
it got ported
I think so.
To PS4 and Steam, and just recently you can Mary Skelter 2 just came out on the Switch, and that it comes with Mary Skelter 1, but you have to beat Mary Skelter 2 first to play it, which is the most ass backward thing, seeing as it's a direct sequel. You'd think you'd maybe want to have that option to play the first one first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you could buy the DLC to unlock the first game.
Oh, right. You actually...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
or get the
makes
true
sense.
ending in 2.
That's wow. Yeah, man.
Some dumb executive decided that and probably killed the sales for that game entirely.
Yeah. But that's kind of an Idea Factory thing, though, is they're really good at just painting themselves in the worst possible light. All of their streams where they show off their games, they find a way to do so in the worst possible ways every time.
I'm not sure what stream would have saved Neptunia RPG.
Oh boy, man, the first time they streamed that, it was the Switch version, and it was 40 to 50 seconds to load up one battle. I was like, what are you people doing? That's not what I would have shown. And this was 2 days before it came out, so time to cancel your pre-orders. This game's shit. Anyway, Mary Skelter Nightmares. it's about an entire city that's been sunk 666 meters into the ground. Edgy as fuck.
Nice.
And you have to dungeon crawl your way back to the surface. And so you play as Alice and Jack. Alice is a girl who is kind of the primary protagonist of the story, and Jack is kind of her, I guess you would say, childhood friend, but they kind of get along together because they're both kind of outcasts, and they end up in this literal prison where they're tortured every single day. And they're made to do weird stuff like lick the walls of the prison. What? Okay, that's weird. Okay. And to be bathed in monster blood because it makes you insane. And Alice and Jack have this weird dichotomy where for some reason his blood is able to counteract the insanity inducing effects of monster blood.
Okay.
Okay.
Naturally.
There was an edginess level here that you just passed for me.
It's really stupid. And he puts his blood later in the game. He literally puts his blood in a gun to shoot it at the girls to keep them from going insane.
I'm back on board.
It's so good.
You're wibble wobbling between like Red Edgy and John Edgy.
Yeah, like I think that this game's writing a really fun balance that is at the very least fun to talk about. So, you know, like,
Oh
okay.
my god.
That's excellent.
So eventually Jack and Alice are broken out by Red Riding Hood, who belongs to an organization called Dawn. And they're trying to basically escape the prison. And it kind of like, this is where they sort of find out about like girls, always girls, who go insane, who can fight the enemies that live here. And then they get bloody and then they go yandere, covered in blood, and the only way to stop it is for this boy to shoot his blood all over them. And knowing our audience, I just heard the thunderous sound of 200 boners popping at once. No, wait, that was just one, and it was Rhett.
And what? I mean, two.
Boy, there's an X-rated version, and the only way is for him to shoot his bleep.
Shoot his semen. Is that what you were going for, Rhett? Semen?
Yeah, maybe.
Semen?
You know, he's got to restore their mana.
From his pecker?
Hey, Polly, quick question. Is her name Alice? Is that a reference to Alice in Wonderland?
It absolutely is.
Is
Because
Jack
that's where
reference to
all
Jack
the
the Ripper?
game's theming comes from. It comes from fairy tales. So you've got
Okay.
you've got Sleeping
Yeah.
Beauty, you've got Thumbelina, Alice from Alice in Wonderland, Riding Hood.
Okay. So it's like Ruby.
Yeah, so it's oh no.
Jeez, I didn't
And
know
like
that.
basically all the game's theming and the dungeon elements are very gothic in quality, and they kind of have like specific references to fairy tales and stuff. And like that's like I think that like the way that a lot of that stuff is handled is really well done, and I like a lot of the character designs except the really booby ones that are way too booby for me. And they've got like really cool designs for like the blood skelter mode, like for when they have too much blood and go crazy. Like they've got like that kind of transformation aspect.
Sounds pretty appealing.
What?
I said that sounds pretty appealing.
Like it's a cool thing. Like I
You're
said,
selling John on this too
like
much.
I said, this game has a really fun premise and a lot of cool things going for it. And like, there's a lot of ideas that, like, you can build a really cool, fun dungeon crawler around. Like, the story and premise, they're already there. I think that, like, if I just sat you down and it was like, if this was my idea for a game and I was like, hey, I want to make this, you'd probably be like, hey, I want to help you make that. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, in dungeon crawling wise, like, each character has her own, like, unique ability to help you, like, get through various puzzles in the dungeon, like black holes that you can go into, or like Red Riding Hood has scissors that she can like snip fences away and shit, things like that. Just basic traversal stuff. It adds a little more to the dungeon crawling than just kind of moving across squares and uncovering tiles. And I think that's pretty cool. Like, pretty much all of the areas of the dungeon all kind of like wrap around, and they're self-contained, but they all wrap around into one another, sort of like a Metroid game. Which I like. I think that a lot of dungeon crawlers kind of like, they just kind of do the self-contained, like you're on floor 1, now you're on floor 2, now you're on floor 3, whereas this game has got like, it's got that, but like all of the areas kind of can connect into one another, and that's really cool. And another cool thing that it's got is like every major floor has a story boss, and the boss cannot be killed at all until you've found and killed the core. So what happens is you go into like, I think it's like, what is it called? Like Murder Hunt or something like that, where you run into the boss, but you can't kill it. You can only knock it down and run the fuck away. But another fun thing about this is they also take away your mini map. So it makes that part of the game feel really cool. So like you've got to you knock the boss down and get the fuck away, and like you hope that like you're able to find your way far enough away before it gets the fuck back up, and you have to knock it down again because you can game over here, and it feels real bad to do it. But it's a cool mechanic, so I like that. That's really cool.
It sounds like Mr. X from Resident
Exactly.
Evil 2.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of Mr. X's. So like, that's some of the cool stuff that I think's really cool about Mary Skelter. We like the premise. We like the way some of the story's going.
Oh my god, the build up to this butt.
Unfortunately, here it comes. The big come down. This is what you wanted. Unfortunately, I never felt like I was having any fun engaging with any part of the game, part of this game at any point.
Aww.
And that's so weird for me. And it just, because, like, I like dungeon crawlers, and I looked up, and, like, you know, I looked up some reviews, I looked up people talking about this game, and it's just like, it's doing pretty okay with the dungeon crawling crowd. So, like, am I too dumb for this game or something? Like, I don't know why I can't seem to find the fun that other people are having with Mary Skelter. So to kind of break down where I think the game starts falling apart is that I think the combat feels really limp and mashy and not very satisfying. And I don't really understand a lot of it after having put like 10, 11 hours into it. Like, it operates on like, hey, things have elemental weaknesses, right? And we know how that works. You hit something with an elemental weakness, it does a lot more damage. That makes sense, right? So if I hit an enemy with an attack, it'll do triple-digit damage because that was a weakness. So I use that same skill on another character whose stats are comparable, and suddenly she only does 9 damage. And I'm like, why? What's the difference? Like, these characters are built similarly. Why is it different? And that's just like the start of things I don't understand about this game's design, is that either something isn't being surfaced or I'm doing something wrong. The only way you get equipment in this game, to my knowledge, seems to be either finding it from rare drops in the dungeon or randomly running into the dungeon's merchant, whose wares are also randomized. So, and like all of the merchants at your base, they don't ever sell worthwhile items other than, like, they might stock higher tier healing items later, but as far as equipment, like, in 12 hours, I never saw them upgrade their equipment stock once. So, like, all the equipment, like, a lot of the equipment that by hour 12 that I was using was still my hour 1 equipment. And there's a weapon and armor upgrade system, too, and you can add +1, which literally just adds +1 to a stat, and what's +1 in a damage formula?
We don't. Do we not know?
No, because it's literally, I could not tell you the difference. The straw that broke the camel's back for me, though, was, so I was just like, okay, I've got to be doing something wrong. There's got to be something up, because I'm on the 3rd area of this video game. I am feeling no satisfaction from the progression mechanics. The story is completely losing me because I'm not enjoying the gameplay at all. Like, it's just it's a bad feedback loop now.
I'm missing something. There's
I feel like I'm missing something.
Like I haven't started equipping materia or something.
Like I have clearly missed a big part of the puzzle here. So I go to a forum and I'm like, what am I doing? I present my problem. Like, what am I doing wrong? And it's just like, oh, just keep playing until your characters hit level 10 and you can start doing class changes into better and more fun roles. I was like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Because, like, the abilities and skills that I have access to at this point, kind of bleh. I'm not really getting much from them, but hey, it's like, oh, I look up at these other classes, it's like, oh, there's like a paladin who apparently is like really good, and there's just like a lot of other fun things that look like, hey, maybe that's where the fun's at after 12 hours, I guess.
Level 10, jeez.
So, I got to level 10. I've finally met the level requirements for the job change. But I lacked the bloodstones to class change any single one of my characters. Bloodstones are another form of currency. They come in all types. There's a bloodstone for every type of blood, like A+, A positive, blah blah blah, shit like that, right? So that's the gimmick they're going for here. So I go to the class change menu. I can't change a single character's class. And I'm not just like 1 or 2 off. I am way off. I am like 20 fucking points away from even 1 class change. And I've been doing the quests that give me bloodstones as rewards. And that's just like, you know what? Like, between the equipment, class changing, the stats not surfacing something for me here, I kind of just threw my hands in the air and gave up. It's like, I'm too dumb for this game, or it's not for me, or somebody somewhere has figured out something that I didn't. I'm the dummy here. Because clearly the game can't be badly designed if fucking everybody loves it.
Aww. Hey, Polly,
No,
Polly, if it's okay if you don't like something. Maybe it is possible that everyone else is wrong. That's my life philosophy. It's possible that the whole world is wrong and that you are right.
Well, I mean, there is hashtag Polly is always right.
Polly is always right.
Which, that is true. But this game just kind of befuddled me because I think that this is like the first time I've been downright befuddled by why is this not like clicking? Like this isn't the first time an Idea Factory game has left me feeling some sort of way. Believe me. Like, we have Fairy Fencer F. We have...
Oh, jeez.
Man, that game... Well, I at least finished Fairy Fencer F.
You did?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh my god. I mean, last week we had the Neptunia remake.
Yeah, like, the Neptunia remake was bad. Like, look, this isn't the first time I've felt a sort of way about Idea Factory. But this game, just in particular, like, it befuddled me because it's just like... I still feel like I did something wrong. Like, I'm missing something here. Because, like, I don't know why I can, look at everybody else just enjoying the fun of this thing that I can't seem to find anywhere. Where did you all hide the Mary Skelter fun? Would somebody please tell me? Anybody? Podcast at socksmakepeoplesexy.net. Let me know where you found the fun in Mary Skelter, and maybe I'll play it again someday. But as it stands... it's just gonna have to sit in the old pile because I don't get it.
I think you gave it a college try there, especially going on the forum and asking, like, "Hey,
yeah,
is
like
something missing?"
I really felt like, look, I wanted to like this. Like the desire is there. I like what you're doing. I like what you're setting in front of me, video game. You got all the right theming. You got all the fun blood stuff. I like dungeon crawling.
You throw blood on girls.
That
might be your thing.
Yeah, Rhett. Totally not your thing, though, right? Even though you've admitted it on the podcast and tried to act like you never did when I brought it up.
Well, this is a little different. That was Zero in Drakengard stabbing people and having the blood splat. Yeah, John knows what I'm talking about.
It's still literally the same
I know.
thing. It's just...
I'm just messing.
Man, this... Yeah, this game just left me in such a weird mental place that it's just like, I'm not angry about this. Like, I don't...
Just confused.
I'm just really confused as to, like, where is the disconnect? Why is this happening? It's like, I want to like you. I really do, but I cannot keep playing you, not knowing what I know now, not knowing this, just like... That bloodstone thing was just like, that's it, we're done. Like, Alt F4, right click, uninstall. We done.
I wonder if it's just Labyrinth of Toho or the other ones set the bar too high for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, Labyrinth of Toho is great. I love Etrian Odyssey. I mean, even though it wasn't the greatest one I've ever played, I liked Seventh Dragon as well. But I don't know. Like, this game is just confusing to me. I can't tell you why this game is.
It sounds like there are some like subtle game design language things going on that are just like kind of hard to parse out. Like, just like there's something broken. Really,
there's something
under the
broken
hood here.
Somewhere. There's got to be something broken somewhere that's not.
I wonder if it's like you get to the next floor and then the bloodstones are fucking everywhere.
Would not fucking surprise me. That would be my fucking luck.
Like, you grinded a little bit too much and you got to level 10 just before they thought you would, and now. But it's Idea Factory. Of course, it's not balanced.
Well, yeah. That's my Mary Skelter experience. I'm currently digging away at another Idea Factory game, though. But I'm not going to talk about that one right now. I'm not going to talk about that one right now. I'll talk about that one next time when I've got more solid opinions on it. But I'll just say that I've been playing it for 14 hours and I'm still playing it.
Excellent. Oh, that's nice.
Did you have a question, John?
I was asking if we could take an emergency 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Cool. It's
Sure.
nothing. It's nothing bad. Just it's the normal reason.
John's got to
Be back
poop,
in a bit.
everybody.
I also forgot to do the normal reason before we started, so.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break. And we'll be right back.
I return.
Have you? Have you really?
Am I ever really here?
Is that like a Radiohead lyric?
Probably.
Probably. Sounds very Radioheady.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Good, good. You don't have to throw it back to
sorry.
me. You don't have to throw it back to me the rest of the episode, by the way. That's the only thing I've got to talk about.
Mm. So why did you go first? You just had to get that out. You just wanted to cut off John.
No, I went first because, like, hey, let's not have my throat be completely wrecked by the time I talk a lot about a thing.
Yeah. You can hang back if you need to.
That's the plan. Because the rest of the episode is like, John and Rhett talk about shit.
Isn't that every episode?
Yeah. Who am I kidding?
Oh man, game of the year, huh?
Oh, it's coming up. It's big.
I think it's time to finalize my list, really.
I've started. I've got a list, and I think I've only got 11 to really contend with.
I know mine's going to come down to the wire. I've got 50 games completed and Mario Maker 2, which is, it's not on the list because I haven't completed it, but it's a contender, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm cutting, 4 out of every 5 games to get this down. That's
you have to send us a list after 5. You're not exempt. You've got to choose 3. Yeah, that's all you get.
Everybody does honorable mentions.
You better finish Cold Steel 3.
Oh no. Oh god, yeah, if his list is gonna be weird.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So
this is live though, right?
Yep.
Okay, I kind of figured that. I think you missed it in chat when you said anime of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
If he was just like, well, I watched Love Live.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Thank y'all.
Oh man, somebody's got that somebody's got that. I just took a nice good shit sound going on.
It's not a nice sound.
Oh no.
It's okay.
I've got like my game of the year list is like 13 potential games I'm looking at right now out of 24 that I've completed this year.
Mm-hmm. So. I've got like 50 something, but it's the short list is like 15.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm around there too. I have exactly 50 completed right now.
Cool. Are we ready to throw it to Rhett afterward? I think John doesn't sound like he's in any condition.
I'll let him decide because I thought we were going to just blast right into Suikoden.
Yeah, I mean, maybe now is the best. Now is the best time to talk.
All right, John. John, let's go. Let's just get it all out.
All right,
literally get it all out.
All of
it. Every sense.
So I've just been vomiting on Twitter about this game I'm playing because it's the only. It's not just on Twitter. I'm like alternating between main and private. I've got 2 chat rooms I go into. I go onto the forum to complain. I'm trying to spread it out because the only way I can get through it is just constantly complaining about it online.
I find that that's the best way to engage with literally everything, though. Is if I complain about it online, that's like the best way to handle it.
And that's my rock. I apologize. I for the first time I put a hashtag on a game I'm tweeting about so that people can mute it because it's a physical need. Otherwise, there's no way I'm getting through it. If I can't commiserate, then there's no way.
You needed the forum to give you energy to help you push through it.
Thank you, Psychic Heist.
We raised our hands and gave you the spirit bomb.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I remember last week when I said I played all of Suikoden 1 in 4 days?
Yeah.
And I hated it.
Mm-hmm. You hated it.
I did hate it.
You did hate it.
It was very boring and very bad. I did play all of it in 4 days, and then I was like, I kind of liked some parts of that, though. Maybe there's some parts of that I kind of had a nice time with.
What parts of that did you have a good time with, Fresno?
Well, it was fun collecting the Pokemon. You give me a list of 108 people.
Right.
And then I go throughout the game and I just run around town. I talk to Phil, and then Phil's like, find my cat. And then I look and see the cat, and then I'm like, here you go. And then it's like, hey, do you like my cool rock? And then I say, yes. And then she says, oh, well, let me join your army.
Man, there's a part of Cold Steel 2 that you are just gonna love.
And I'm just filling in a list full of people, and there's something. And then as you fill in the list, your castle fills up with people. There's something kind of pleasing about that. I'm pretty sure it's the only thing people remember or care about on these games because that's the only thing people talk about.
I like your description there of I like your rock, and they're just like, I will die for you. Conscript me into your army.
That's about how it goes. So Suikoden 1 was a mediocre RPG with no climax, and I hated it, and it was very ugly. But it was over very quickly, which is kind of nice. It was like a 13-hour...
Very considerate of it. Very considerate of it. If it's going to be mediocre, mediocre, it knows to get its fucking ass out of my house.
And so I felt so unresolved because of the limp dick miserable ending. Mm-hmm. It's like no final boss and then a 3-minute ending. And then I was like, Suikoden 2 directly continues from this game. Maybe I just need to play Suikoden 2, which is one that everybody loves.
Right,
that's the good one.
That's the good one.
I mean, it's number 10 on the Socks Make People Sexy.net list. It is tied with both Parasite Eve and Chrono Cross.
It's tied with Parasite Eve, you fucks.
I didn't participate in that list, so you can't blame me.
I voted for Parasite Eve, and John voted for Parasite Eve and Chrono Cross.
See, those are even if I don't like Chrono Cross in this situation, I'll take it.
Oh, any day, yeah. Oh, no question. So I started playing Suikoden 2 the day after I started playing finished Suikoden 1.
And that was 2 weeks later.
And I was immediately entranced. Because Suikoden 2 came out 3 years later, 1998 versus 1995. It came out around the same time. The first one came out well before Final Fantasy VII. This one came out around the same time as Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
And it's much prettier. They put a lot of the color palette is like kind of darker, and the sprites are more detailed. And just it went from like the most generic, bland ass, like dollar store RPG aesthetic to like, okay, this is actually a look now.
Yeah,
and I appreciated that.
It's got an aesthetic. It got itself its own look.
The start of the game is very good. You're playing as the main character, who's a nameless protag, and Joey, his best childhood friend, and you are in a reserve army unit, and the war has just ended because of a peace treaty, so you know you're going home to see your family, and it's very nice. And then you wake up in the middle of the night, and the reserve army is being attacked. And everybody, you're watching your friends die that you just like walked around the barracks talking to. They're all just dying, and it's very tragic and sad. And then it turns out that people are yelling that it's a surprise attack by the opposing nation that you just had a peace treaty with, that they're breaking the treaty. But then you sneak around and you find out that it's actually being perpetrated by your own commanding officer. And this is a fake attack to give an excuse for them to break the peace treaty and attack this nation again. So you are sacrificial pawns. And then you try to escape. And
I feel like that story beat was used I feel like that story beat was used in a way better game that we love.
Probably. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Wait, I hope I know.
Is it a Trails? I don't know.
It's definitely not Trails because me and John are in the same place. So
is it Final Fantasy Tactics? I don't actually like Final Fantasy Tactics that much. I'm realizing.
Well, this premise is lightly touched on and used in a different way in the Trails games.
Okay.
You remember it. It's pretty big.
Ugh, my brain is... Oh, yeah, I remember now.
There you go.
It's good. It's much better in that game. Trails is much better than Suikoden in every conceivable way.
Hey, Suikoden fans, do yourself a favor.
And play a good game. So this is a very strong premise, and then you escape with your friend, and then you go to another town, you get separated when you attack, and I have to walk y'all through this. It's very important you follow the emotional part I had with this game. Okay?
Give me the deets. Let's go.
Trust that
we're deep diving.
Trust that I'm taking you on a journey here, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be worth it.
This will be better than the 1-to-1 walkthrough of Ocarina of Time.
It will definitely be better. God. Because I was just reading my Twitter thread that time. It wasn't great audio. So you get separated from your friend, and you find your other childhood lady friend, your big sister, and you have this really cute scene where she has like 10 really nice animations, and it's just instantly like characterizes her, and it's really nice, and I just I love her completely. And then you find your friend that you're separated from, and he's being in this village being taken care of by this kindly family with a little girl, and it's very sweet. So now you're all recombined, but then you come back, and the village has been burned to a cinder, and everybody's dead by the same people that killed your initial army, which included this scary guy named Luca Blight.
Oh boy! Luca Blight.
So now this girl, her parents are dead. She loves your two main characters, and you're just running away from this army of your former nation, and then you hook up with some old resistance people, and then you go fight a vampire for 3 hours. And then the game just kind of forgets about Pilika, the traumatized girl who you connected with. And then Joey betrays you for no reason, seemingly. And then you go and spend about 15 hours doing fuck all. And then the game just stops. And that's it.
This doesn't sound very top 10 material to me.
You have like this pretty solid first like 3 or 4 hours as you're like setting the stakes and whatnot, and then it just stops.
It doesn't even shit the bed. It just stops.
It has quests, like you go to a school and pretend to be high school students for a while for some reason. I don't remember why. You go to this place where there's kobolds and winged people and humans living together, but there's like racial tensions, and you have to like help them get back to figure out their business, and you're all like building this resistance, and suddenly you're the leader of the resistance against the Highland army and Luca Blight and all this people. And Luca's just going from village to village, just killing everybody like that. We don't know why. We don't know why he's doing this, but it's very scary.
Well, he's got deep reasons, I'm sure.
Is Luca from the nation you're originally from?
Yes.
So why is he killing everyone in all these towns?
He's from the nation you're originally from. You're in the nation that you're not originally from, and he's going around killing everybody. And you're the leader of the resistance. And then you finally get a castle like 10 hours in. You can finally start recruiting people. And it's just nothing. It's just nothing. You just play the game that they made because they thought that you would want pretty colors on the screen, and
you want to catch the people. Get 108.
It doesn't even. The thing is that part doesn't even feel good, because in Suikoden 1, if you go out of your way to find a town on the world map that you're not necessarily supposed to go to, you'll immediately snag like 2 or 3 recruits. Mm-hmm. It's the same number of recruits, but in a game half as long, so it's much denser with them. Oh. And in this one, it's not just much less dense with them, but they locked them off for a very long time. I went to like early on, I kept going to all these towns that I wasn't necessarily supposed to go to with, and I'd find nothing. And I would just talk to all these people, and there'd be no. So it was like instantly like not rewarding me going out of my way. So I just stopped doing that.
Yeah.
And then finally, like at the end of the game, I can start recruiting people. But now it's too late. The feedback loop that was the one redeeming thing of the first game is broken because it did not reinforce me early on. And the castle's like way more convoluted, and it's full of non-named characters, so it doesn't feel like you're building it up the same way.
Yeah, you completely lose what makes it feel interesting. Yeah, the intimacy.
Yeah, because in Suikoden 1, the only characters at the castle are people you talk to and recruit. It's very nice, and the castle's much smaller.
That's really unfortunate that there were hooks in the first game that kept you interested enough to dive into the sequel, and they fucked those up.
Because it's not the fighting.
It's definitely not the fighting.
It's piss easy in every game. It was piss easy right up to the end of the first game, and it's been piss easy this whole time too. Mm-hmm. It's not the dungeons, because all the dungeons are straight lines, with very brief diversions that end immediately in treasure chests. Like it's, and then there's no like cute one-off interactions like you'd have in a later Final Fantasy game. It's just mazes, but not mazes.
Yeah,
it's miserable. And you fight a fucking vampire for like 6 or 7 hours.
I love it. That's the beat. Video game. I love it. That's the beat we get again.
Fucking vampire. Oh my god.
And isn't he from the first game? You said
yes. They killed him in the first game. They spent 7 hours re-resolving the worst part of the first game.
How many years is Suikoden 2 after the first one?
I don't know.
I'm trying to see if we're breaking that. I'm trying to see if we're breaking Castlevania canon here, which is every 100 years.
Oh my god. It's just there's no threads. There's nothing to latch onto. The characters that they make you care about at the start are Pilika and Joey and Nanami and you, and they all just fade into the background.
But you got Luca Blight. You got Luca Blight.
Luca's barely in it.
But he's so cool. Like, everybody talks about him.
He dies 10 hours before the game ends, and I was like...
But that's tragedy. That's why it's...
Surely that's not it.
He's a tragic icon, John.
All right, we'll get to the fuck.
I'm goading.
There's no threads to latch onto. It's just I don't care about anything that's happening or any of the people, and they don't explain why Joey betrays you. It feels like the first game was like perfunctory and workman-like it was built in a soulless RPG factory.
Kind of like Tokyo RPG Factory.
Yes, like it's made, like I said, it's a soulless RPG factory. But this doesn't feel like this. This feels like there was passion behind it, in the sense that it feels like a sprawling, unedited serial fanfic, but not in a nice way.
Oh no.
It's just stream of consciousness. We just made shit happen. We're not tying it into any ideas or themes or anything. And then anytime like a theme kind of bubbles up on accident, it's always like something really ugly. It's always like so you're just kind of a mean game, huh?
But like, isn't like one of the core themes of this game actually fascism is good?
It's kind of just seems like, well, which of these two divinely appointed kings deserves to rule the most? Like, okay, cool. That feels great after Trails. That's real nice in comparison to fucking Trails. You just like, there's an extended part of the game where you're just like, here, let's plot out how to kill a guy. Let's lure him in, and then we'll have people attacking him from multiple ends. We'll murder his personal guard, and then as he's running away and fearing for his life, then we'll have the archers come in, and then they'll sneak attack him, and then you, the player, will come up and deal the killing blow, and it's going to feel so epic.
You see, like, the fun thing is like you mentioned Trails, and like Cold Steel kind of has that conundrum too of like, you know, you've got that whole nobility thing, and it's sort of like, you know, who deserves to rule more, but they ruminate on it a lot, and there are a lot of alternate viewpoints presented that aren't just, well, what if just these two people have the ability to rule? Those aren't the only options here.
The ones picked by an angel.
The one picked by a fucking angel.
And given the mark of kings.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's so basic and unexamined, and like I said, the Luca death scene is like really kind of melancholic, and I had somebody in my mentions just be like, oh, I thought it was pretty badass though. Like, oh, so I guess what, you just read that as cathartic then? Is that what the game wanted me to read that as? Was I supposed to feel good about that? He comes up, he tells himself like, don't be afraid, you can't die here. And he's like, and then he like is in the trees, and he finds this jar of fireflies. And he's like, wait, what is this? And he opens it, and fireflies come out, and in the night, and he's just like, oh.
Why is there a jar of fireflies?
What was that about? I should behead whoever did that stupid thing. But he's obviously just like, oh, that's pretty. And then we're just kind of watching it. And then the fireflies were a signal for the archers. So they know where to shoot him.
Oh
just
my
shoot
God.
him. That's how they shoot him dead. This guy runs away, and then he's like, oh, I can't die here. Oh, there we go. Kill him. And then the player comes in, and then you have a one-on-one fight, but he has like 10% of his HP, and you have full HP, so there's no chance of him winning, and you just boom, right him over the head, and then he dies.
I love that, like, the jar of fireflies thing is really fucking with me, because that is so fucking contrived. Like, why would that be there?
It's literally my favorite scene in the game, because like, if it was a good game, they would like examine the kind of the feels badness of it.
Yeah.
Like,
is it?
There's
like
two things going on there where it's like the fireflies feel like Japanese symbolism for death. I think there's some connection like fireflies in the afterlife in Japanese culture. But the other thing is,
you see it a lot.
Yeah, you fight him and he's got like 10% health. Does he attack you at all?
He gets like one. No, he gets one shot in on you.
Because it sounds like,
yeah,
you know, in Dark Souls when you get Sif down to low health and he's just
it's
dragging. So are they leaning into it at all?
They're not. They're completely leaning into it in the presentation of the scene, but they don't follow up on it at all. The intent is for it to feel bad, but then that's it. They just don't do anything with that. Like it's all like, well, that's the cost of war as well.
Oh god! Like, yeah, the positing and fucking rumination that game does on quote unquote war is pretty fucking laughable.
It's so basic. It's so empty.
I think the more you compare this to Trails, the worse it gets.
It really does.
No
Like
comparison.
if Trails didn't exist, when this came out,
Yeah.
it was tolerable.
Mm-hmm. Somehow they fiddled with the EXP curve, which is the same. It's the same basic curve as Trails. Somehow, whatever they did in Suikoden 2 made it feel like it matters even less than the first game. Like you just don't care about level. It just doesn't. Like there's no actual friction in any of the systems. It's just, and then they have this like tactics RPG that plays out.
It's bad.
And it's bad. And also, you never actually get to play it. It always like cuts out after like 5 turns with some story resolution, and then the enemy runs away. Like it's never actually just a game you play. It's always
a set piece.
It's a set piece for some story scene that doesn't go anywhere and doesn't feel good. So you kill Luca Blight, you gank him, and then you go fight the vampire for 5 hours.
Yay! The best part.
Immediately. It's like,
but
it
means a lot because the vampire was in the first game. It's a cool callback, John.
It's literally they're just whacking it off over the page. Like, here we go. Here, put this on the game.
Check it out. We made a reference. We did it, boys. We invented video game references.
Invented story. It just doesn't feel like there are any writers involved at this.
This is like definitely a game that sounds more and more like it was put together by programmers, as in every aspect of it was put together by programmers.
These people know what an RPG looks like, and they know how to imitate it. They don't know why any part of an RPG is the way it is, and they don't know why stories are the way they are. They just like, well, it's our job to make this game, so let's make this RPG, I guess.
A character died in Final Fantasy IV once, so we probably got to put that in there.
And the thing is, like, they obviously... Apparently, this was the game that they pitched first, was Suikoden 2. Yeah. And then they went back, and then Konami was like, this is too risky. And then they pitched Suikoden 1 as like, here's a safer, based on an old Chinese novel. This is fine. This will be a much smaller, safer bet, and we can get it out before Final Fantasy 7. Mm-hmm. So the way it feels playing it is that Suikoden 1 is just to build like a Pat-esque narrative here. Suikoden 1 is the game they didn't give a shit about, and you feel that playing it. Suikoden 2 is the game they were actually enthusiastic about making, and it's worse. When they tried, it turned out worse than when they weren't trying. And that's so sad. Because, like,
wow, so there it is, though, you saying that this game is actually worse.
I think it's worse than Suikoden 1.
Oh my god.
Because again, there's no... The systems felt better in Suikoden 1. Like, leveling felt like it mattered. Collecting party members felt basically felt good. The pacing doesn't. Something they failed with the pacing. The recruiting doesn't feel good anymore. The leveling doesn't feel like anything.
John,
it doesn't feel good.
John.
Yeah,
it's number 10.
Oh fucking! So I read that list. And I was like, when I was prepping after playing Suikoden 1, I was like, do I want to play 2? And I got to see one of our Socks faithful wax poetic about Luca Blight. And then cite his actual motivation for just wanting to kill everybody, which has not been explained in the game. And a friend let it slip that it really doesn't get explained why he was sacrificing all these people to the Beast Rune. I guess because he's just so evil.
Oh, man.
So you read this top 10 list. Your beloved Socks friend. Your beloved Socks. And it does say not only is Luca just so evil, and that's pretty badass. He's just like a dog chasing a car, you know.
He lives in a society.
But he also has this tragic backstory because he was made by war, really. So it's this cycle of violence. And I haven't seen that in the game yet. I talked to a friend who played the game, and he said, I don't remember anything about Luca's tragic backstory. And apparently, that's because it was just retconned in after the fact in a magazine. And not only that, it's like a gross rape as backstory.
Good!
Okay.
Oh, good! The best
It's
kind!
So we retconned it in that Luca's only murdering thousands of people because he was a rape victim, I guess. Because we read Berserk and thought it was badass.
Oh my god!
But that's not in the game. There's nothing in the game. That's part of why I thought, well, surely Luca's not actually dead, because I thought that they would bring up that they had to bring up the backstory. He doesn't have a backstory. He just kills people, and there's no reason for it. And it's just like every other RPG villain from the 80s that was just evil for the sake of evil. There's nothing good about Luca Blight. He sucks.
What year did this game come out?
1998.
So you know what else came out in 98 in the States is Pokemon Red. And remember the rival in that? He's just a dick for no reason.
You fuckers, like 4 different people have brought that up today, and it's like the hive mind thing traveling around Twitter today. Blue rocks because he serves a specific purpose in the story, and he does it very effectively. He doesn't need to be deeper than he is, and is legitimately cool when he's the final boss, and he's the best rival. I feel strongly about this. So Luca's just evil for the sake of evil, and the only reason people care about him is because at least he injects conflict and energy into the story, which is otherwise completely lacking in it. And now that he's dead, the game has been turgid and nothing's happened, and it sucks shit.
You got a cool vampire. It's a reference to the first game.
Which, again, extended, premeditated plan for how to murder the vampire, in which he is backed into a corner and then begging for his life, and then you fucking gank him.
John.
Just boom!
John.
This almost sounds like a comedy game.
John.
Yeah?
John.
He's an evil vampire.
It's number 10.
The backstory that's retconned in a magazine, and it's not even good. It just makes it worse.
The best villain ever. Oh my god.
The best. I got linked like 5 separate articles about why Luca Blight is the best, most badass villain of all time.
I apply the logic to my video game villains the same way I do when you have to confirm that you got a speedrunning world record. And my good friend Toad goes by the adage of no vid, no did. Which what I would basically mean in this video game sense is that if we don't see this tragic backstory, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. We do see him torture and kill a woman on screen. So that's pretty great.
She probably deserved it.
No, it's just a village lady orders her to squeal like a pig, and she does, and then walk around on all fours. It's weirdly horny. It's pretty uncomfortable, and the game doesn't go back to that at all. Of course, it's pretty great. Lucas, and he's not even, and also like to be clear, he's not even hot. He's not hot with how he's a sadistic, evil murder dog. It's so much. He's so nothing. Like, my brain immediately compares him with like Kafka in my head, because Kafka's also just kind of.
But Kafka is well written nothing.
Yeah, Kafka is like funny.
Yeah, Kafka is funny, and there's a genuine derangement there that, while it's cartoonish, it can be sort of frightening and believable.
And he's not badass.
No, he's not. He sucks.
They never tried to make him indulgent. Like, Luca's supposed to be cool.
Yeah.
Ugh.
When you talk about him killing that woman, like, that makes me think, oh, that's how you could see his death as cathartic. Is he's really awful.
Yeah, he sucks. He sucks a lot. But
so I can get people being like, oh, I'm so glad he's fucking dead.
Yeah, he almost kills a kid on screen. It's pretty great. He's the only thing.
You giggled when you said that.
He's the only thing. This is those are both from the beginning of the game, where there's still like energy, and you think maybe it's going somewhere. And it's like, okay, we got a scary villain. We got 4 characters I care about. Let's see where this goes. And the answer is nowhere. because they kill the villain, and there's still 10 hours of game left, and we don't know why any of the villains want anything, and we don't know why any of the heroes want anything.
But they got a cool vampire from the first game.
Oh my fucking god!
It's just
So
rubbing it in so much.
So I've got
the vampire.
Yeah.
You said the vampires like towards the start of the game as well, like after that initial.
This is a multi-arc vampire.
So it sounds like you've got the vampire arc at the start, and then Luca dies, and then there's another vampire arc. It sounds like he's in this game more than the first one.
He's in this game more than Luca. That might not be an exaggeration. He might be on screen more than Luca. If you count the first game, he has as many boss fights. Oh dear lord. So I think I've got like 3 hours of game left. I'm sorry I couldn't finish it before the podcast. I don't think it's gonna pull things back around based on the first game having the least ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suikoden sucks, y'all. I told Polly, I keep a list of every book, game, TV show, or movie I have experienced this year. It's color-coded, it's very nice. So when I say this is my least favorite story I've engaged with this year, y'all know I mean it.
Yeah, like this is the real stuff. Like this, I've not heard John Thayer have this much vitriol for one thing in a while.
John, you have to close out the trilogy, though. I mean, they were really intended as
no. They were intended as two games and then three.
And then there were 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'm positive 3 and 5 are better. Like, there's no way they're not. I'm not that. I know that sounds like it's building up to me playing them. It's not. I'm free. Playing 2 was the mistake. I'm not going to make a second mistake. I already
Fool me
was pushing it. Fool me once, shame on me.
He's
Fool me twice, really shame on me.
As if he says, "You are Suiko done with this shit."
So this series is dead and good riddance. And nobody on my entire... I have not had anybody jumping to this game's defense in my mentions. I have had about 10 people be like, finally, someone else said it. Like there is just seething bile for this game that
There's seething bile for this game, but you go look at every fucking RPG list from that generation.
On IGN.com.
And it's so ridiculous. Like,
Socks make people sexy on that top 10.
Our standards, like, at that time, when that game came out, were so much lower that we've never revisited it and thought even for a second, hey, maybe that's bad. We just, like, nobody's replayed that game. Nobody's replayed Suikoden 2. Who wants to play Suikoden 2 in 2019? Fucking nobody.
There have been like 3 or 4 articles on Kotaku this year about this classic Hidden Gem series that nobody talks about, Suikoden. Jason Schreier led a lot of it. Heather Alexandra wrote a lot of pieces. She's the one other Suikoden fan I know, so that she's the only person I've felt bad about tweeting how much I hate it.
Yeah, she's also the person that like made up ridiculous bullshit about Persona 5 having a slur in its song, and she never tried to confirm that. She just went with it and then had to retract it later.
Oof. So, I'm sure 3 and 5 are better. 3, they are very ugly. Like they are PS2 ass RPGs.
Oh
like,
yeah,
they are. 3 especially is just grotesque looking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're like 60 hours.
That's the good one though. I've heard 3 is the good one for reals.
Where did it end up on the PS2 list?
Because now we have people that played PS2 games in their kids, so they're nostalgic for Suikoden 3. And they're the ones writing the lists now. I don't like Suikoden. Don't like this series. I have not felt this much bile for just an RPG like this. Like, I'm trying to think of other ones.
A game in general, it seems like.
Yeah.
I think Saga 3 is similarly, like, just barren. There's nothing to latch on to in that one. The Game Boy Final Fantasy Legend 3. I would rather play Secret of Mana again, because that game has, like, teeth. Mm-hmm. It's like a dungeon crawler, even if it feels bad. I asked my friend that hates Suikoden and hates Xenogears which one he would prefer between the two, and he said Xenogears, absolutely Xenogears, which made me happy. So, all right, I think that's Is that?
I'm looking through the Gen 6 list right now.
Do we have a Suikoden sighting?
We've got several, because remember, there are several games. Okay, there it is. Coming in at number 126.
Woo! That's prestigious.
Is Suikoden Tactics.
Nice.
Chosen by Beepner.
Oh, thanks, Colin. One of the people being like, "Oh yeah, Suikoden actually sucks, John." Sorry.
After that, coming in at number 108. Oh, ironic number. I didn't even realize
that
at
is
the
a
time.
very funny number. Yeah.
Is Suikoden 5.
Uh-huh.
Chosen by Dr. No.
Thank you, Dr. No. Not putting y'all on blast. I'm sure they're lovely.
And then coming in at number... Wait, I lost it. 64, Suikoden 3.
Okay.
Chosen by Pixel Crusher and Dr. No, and a very ugly screenshot there.
Oh, that one's...
That's a lot lower than number 10.
It's a lot lower than number 10.
Yeah.
Suikoden 4 apparently not making the list.
Oh,
surprise! Surprise!
I watched some footage of that one, and I'm not surprised.
Number 10 is Grandia 2, just as a...
That's a pretty good... that's a pretty good
This is a much stronger list, I would say, than...
Yeah.
Number 9, Persona 3.
Oh,
I think we had our thinking caps on for that list.
Yeah. Number 7, Tales of Symphonia. I'm just listing RPGs that are better.
I don't want to play RPGs right now.
Like, we're done.
Number 3, Persona 4.
I don't want to play any RPGs right now. RPGs are... I did a bunch of other game stuff that made me really happy, and then every time I would go to back to Suikoden 2 and be like, actually, games are terrible. All right. I've said my piece. Thank you all for listening. I'm sure that I'll do a quick follow-up on how the ending disappointed me next time. But
because there's no doubt at this point.
We need closure.
Right.
Hopefully the game gives you a little bit.
Oh, my God. Oh, there's a true ending too that you have to collect all the characters for.
Fucking course.
With a special final boss. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube later. I don't think it's gonna redeem the game for me. I have almost 80 characters. Like I didn't.
Oh my God.
I actually did the work there.
When Luca died and you were just like befuddled that there was a third of the game left. I looked on Game FAQs to be like, because you were like, he probably comes back. Like, you were in denial mode, basically. Like, denial, then acceptance.
I thought he had a backstory he had to share.
You were in denial that he was actually dead, even though he very extremely dies on screen.
Yeah.
So I went to a Game FAQs and just searched Luca. I don't think he's coming back, John.
It's fine. It's fine.
Like the name comes up in the ending, so that's how I saw that there were multiple endings that all have like extremely similar dialogue, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I wish video games are better than I hope video games are better than this someday.
Yes, someday when Trails in the Sky happens, like 10 years afterwards.
Oh my God, Trails is so much better. Trails is so much better, and it's so similar in a lot of ways. It's I'm done. It's done. I'll wash my hands.
He has to be done. Like, his soul can take no more.
Oh, I wish I was watching Sword Art Online. I wish I was watching Sword Art Online instead of playing more Suikoden.
Oh, there was a much better reference you could have done there.
Yeah? What? Say it. Tell me.
I know.
We know. We all know.
We know.
I don't know. So more Simple Gear. Simple Gear G was pretty bad, though. I didn't really much care for that one.
I don't understand how you
man. I was real bored watching Simple Gear G. I don't know. Rhett.
Oh, man. You had me for a bit. You started to act like you were going to watch season 3 anyways.
I bumped up season 1 back to a 6 because I was like, okay, I did actually like that one more. But then I did go back, bump season 2 down to a 4 because I was like, okay, I really didn't like that one.
Fine.
I I kept the original rating for Rat. What else do you want from me?
And then you bumped it down again.
I bumped. No, I didn't bump season 1 down. We're good.
You bumped 2 back.
I stole a point from 2 and gave it to 1.
Oh my
Seems
God.
right to me.
Fine.
Oh.
Even though, John, is season 2 better than 1?
No, season 1's better. It has more Miku. I had to just think about it and be like, nah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, season 1's better.
Anyways, we're not talking about Suikoden anymore.
We're not talking about fucking Suikoden anymore.
Until next week.
Simple Gear is nicer. Like, I think I was just as bored, but it at least like isn't overtly evil.
Yeah, there's no.
It's not like
fascism.
There's no fascism in Suikoden. In Simple Gear.
This whole Suikoden thing just sounds like I am fighting this war to end all wars. Like, oh, through genocide, cool, and like my way, you know.
Yeah.
That whole like super noble like I must fight to end wars is just generic and completely unrealistic.
If I fight to end the war and just insert my own will above everybody else's,
exactly.
Maybe my will will
maybe I was the dictator.
Maybe my will triumph over theirs.
JRPGs are a trip, man.
It has nothing to say about war. It does not actually know anything.
No, it's actually not a game about war.
No, or trauma.
Or trauma. No.
Or anything.
It's got a vampire in it.
I miss Lord Nash.
Lord Nash sounds pretty good right about now.
Lord Nash is also
you knew what weaknesses to use him on.
Exactly.
Arafel's a whole game about fighting vampires. Arafel's much better. I really miss Arafel.
Playing Suikoden makes me miss RFL.
Oh my god. It's so much closer to being like an actually playable thing.
Man, I hope that the RFL developers never listen to this show because we bag that game so hard.
It's okay.
We established earlier that no one's listened.
They name search on Twitter for it. As long as you don't tweet, we're good.
Yeah. Man, don't name search on Twitter. That's dumb.
Or you can, just don't then reply to people.
Yeah, just don't fucking reply to people.
Oh my
God. I'll search for my games on YouTube all the time, but I don't really reply to them. That's a little weird.
I give all my games super generic names so that I can't search for them. It helps me keep me honest.
Bullet Maze was super easy to search until Super Mario Odyssey came out.
Gotcha.
And then there was like a Bullet Bill Maze, and I got decimated in the search rankings.
Yeah, imagine that. You got beat by a Mario game. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Rat. Dear friend.
Thank you. I was waiting for the throw.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about...
Yeah.
I'm very tired. I'm all pooped out, literally.
Oh my God.
I don't know anything. I'm sorry for keeping you in limbo so long. Rhett.
No, it's fine.
What have you been up to?
Unfortunately, I'm not really going to bring any positivity just yet.
Oh, great.
Good. Let's just keep it a downer.
We'll just keep it in a downer episode.
We've been going an hour and a half on Misery. We can do another hour and a half of Misery. We got it.
I do not have an hour and a half to talk about these 2 games.
Oh, goodness.
I finished Minoria.
Oh, hey, I know that game.
Yeah, so Polly already backed on this one enough. I don't think there's too much to say here. This was the next game from the Momodora developer.
Mm-hmm.
And it just...
I wanted to like this game. I really did.
Feel good to play.
It doesn't. I 100%ed this game trying so hard. I literally 100%ed that game because it's like, I know there's something here. There has to be.
I was so done by the point I finished it and went, yep, and uninstalled it.
Did you find any of the new weapons and shit they added? Because, like, I know that, like...
I mean, I guess. They're very similar.
They had, like, a whole bunch of new weapons and stuff that weren't there when I played it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because the game wasn't finished.
It's not even that. It's just, like, they have very slightly different attack animations.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, I don't know, they're different colors.
Mm-hmm.
They literally all have like a 1.0 attack damage modifier.
Yeah.
I think there's a soup ladle that is 0.25, and that's the only weaker weapon.
And that game has a weird experience system that I don't understand why it needs it.
Leveling literally don't know what it does.
It gives you extra HP, but everything in the game seems to do damage based on percentage.
That game is hilarious because like most of the regular enemies will do over half your life in a single hit.
They will fuck you up hard.
Yeah. So it's like, and then you get these upgrades that are like, heal 5% life when you kill an enemy. It's like, dog, if I am not at full health, I'm going to die on the next hit. Why would I ever? And they're pretty generous with, your Estus flask.
With your Estus, and like there's save points everywhere.
There's way too many save points. I could not believe how many there were at sometimes.
That game feels like they wanted to make a hard game, and then they bailed because testers found it too hard. So their solution, rather than balancing the game in the same way that Reverie Under the Moon was balanced, they decided to just like add more save points so that if you die, you don't really lose that much progress.
It's crazy. It's like, hey, maybe if everything didn't hit like a truck that would kill you in 2 hits, like that's why dying feels bad, is because you get grazed and you're dead and you're like, what the fuck? So losing progress that way sucks.
Or you rolled and you didn't quite get out of the enemy's touch box, and it's real dumb and it feels bad.
Yeah, so
or you comboed into contact damage.
Well, luckily they fixed that.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen anymore. Contact damage
on launch, right?
Contact damage is not as a full hit anymore.
Contact damage at launch sometimes did more than actual enemy attacks.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
And like right as I was going to refund the game, a patch came out and it was like, oh, now it just does like 1/3 of what it used to.
Yeah, so it's like if an enemy attack does half your life, touching them will do like 20% or something.
Yeah.
So it's not immediately killing you.
Yeah.
But either way, it's like if enemies did a little less damage, so you didn't just die and have no realization that you were in danger at all, like they could easily get rid of a lot of the save points.
Yeah.
There are so many there's that part where you get trapped in the prison.
Yeah.
And it's not tense at all because there are save points fucking everywhere.
Yeah, like every 2 screens there's a save point.
Yeah.
So it's like fast, like you just kind of like a net one where you just go down and then save or something.
Yeah, they're bonfires.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's just that game does atmosphere incredibly fucking well, and then like nothing else.
Again, like I'll say it, I don't like. This is very clearly not the game he wanted to make.
Yeah. It's just right around the time I was playing this, I saw a video on the animation on Hollow Knight, and you know how in that game when you get hit, there is like a 20 frame hit stun.
Yeah, like
and like a big boom, like you fucking get hit in that game.
Yeah,
Minoria doesn't have that.
It doesn't have any like the indication that you get hit is so subtle, and there's no like gentle pause or anything to it. They took like, and this is all shit that Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight has. Like that game has hits. That game has hit stun out the ass. And Minoria is just like everything. Like it always just felt like things flailing at one another to me while playing that game.
Even your attacks, especially, you do your little combo and then don't feel anything like hitting an enemy.
Yeah. The only memorable thing about combat in that game is the dumb roll sound effect.
That is incredibly accurate for anybody who's just like, the roll is the sound effects in general
they don't feel like fit.
They are all like made from like an ActionScript 3 generator.
They're made to sound like Nintendo sound effects, but you're making a game that looks like a PS1, PS2 game, and it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, so the sound effect for rolling is just like a noise wave, and it's like
it sounds like it's saying badonkadonk. So it's badonk.
It sounds like she's farting.
Well, she got that big ol' ass when she runs, so hey, you never know.
She got some legs.
She got legs for days.
God, there's one character who just her entire role is to stand around and be like, "Check out my tits.
Check out these tits."
Like her standing animation is just standing with her hands in front of her waist, breathing,
To
and her
push
boobs are
her
just
tits
going
out.
up and down and up. It's like, come on.
At least Titty Witch in Reverie Under the Moonlight made sense. It was tasteful and it was funny. This is just like,
Yeah.
come on, man. It's gratuitous.
And then the game doesn't really do anything interesting with the story by the end.
No, and I really wanted it to. I liked the idea and the premise, like, of what they were going for. So much so that I jacked some of it for a story that I'm writing.
Yes,
I think you'll be able to do it better.
I probably will. Yep.
So I believe it seems like there would be multiple endings because of a choice you get to make at the end.
There are.
But then I literally couldn't find any YouTube videos of the other ending.
The endings are different, but either way, it doesn't make much sense.
Oh.
Like, I didn't find either ending to be all that satisfying. And the only thing that's really majorly different is you get a more elaborate credits scroll from the normal, or from the true ending.
From the fire leaking ending.
The fire leaking.
Oh wait, that's Hollow Knight.
Yeah. The last boss was a real bitch.
You thought so? I thought the last boss was stupid easy.
The first form was kind of nothing, and then I just kept getting clipped by the second boss.
See, the only boss that kept clipping me was the fucking dragon.
Dragon I got on my pretty easily because I had one of those extra weapons that you would do your combo, and at the end of it would shoot a little wave out.
Oh, yeah.
But that wave was only doing 1 HP of damage, so it wasn't actually helping. It was just giving me something to do so that I had the patience, so that when it did the one attack, I knew I was safe to attack to jump in on. I would just jump in on that one attack, and then I would just run half screen away and just be like, "I'll chill over here, because you won't pin me to the left as long as I'm far enough away."
Yeah, that boss was a bitch. That's the only one I had real problems with.
That was like a 6-minute fight because I was just being super patient and waiting for just this one tell.
Yeah,
that was safe.
Yeah,
but the last boss, I just banged my head against for like 2 hours.
Oh man,
maybe not quite that long, but it's like, I'm not giving up until I beat this fucking thing.
I need to be done with this.
The whole last area in general was like, yeah, I kind of get what you're going here for, but I'm just kind of done with this.
Man, that game, I swear to God, like, it just disappoints me so much. Like, of all the games that I played this year that I've been disappointed by, I feel like this is the one where it's just like, I didn't want to be let down. This is the one that I thought, like, this has got to be a sure shot. I kind of think, like Indivisible, yeah, like, I could see that being a letdown. Mary Skelter.
Yeah, that was a pretty big letdown.
Like, Mary Skelter, it's Idea Factory. It's a... Come on.
Idea fuck.
I mean, you played that last year.
And I played that... No, I didn't try that game until the first time.
Right.
Yeah,
we bought it last year.
Yeah, we bought it last year, but we didn't play it until this year.
As it goes on Steam.
But,
yeah,
like, there's just something that stuck in my craw about this game for a long time after finishing it, where it's just like, I can't believe how disappointed I am with this, and how I still wish it was better.
Oh, God.
I think it's just because it's so sad.
Yeah, like, there's just something that feels very personally bad about this game. Like, again, like, it just, like, even the creator just doesn't seem all that happy about it. Just, yeah.
I hope they're not name searching our podcast to listen to this.
I sincerely doubt it.
I know, but it's like, I understand you being disappointed with this because literally the next thing you did after beating it was just play Reverie Under the Moonlight again.
Yeah, I played Reverie Under the Moonlight again, and it was a super satisfying experience.
Yeah. Whereas for me, it's like, because I was braced by you being so disappointed by this.
This wasn't a shock.
It wasn't a shock, and it was pretty much exactly what I expected.
I'm surprised you finished it. I thought that this was going to be a game where you would get halfway through and just be like, yeah, I'm not feeling it.
luckily, I mean, I guess the one thing you can say about it is like Reverie on the Moonlight. It's pretty short.
Yeah. This is
It's like
definitely a bit bigger.
it's like once I got to the the dungeon area or the prison. I like what they're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see the framework of ideas here, and the
Yeah.
atmosphere in this game is so good.
Yeah.
And it just flubs the fundamentals so hard. That's what's frustrating.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh man, I went on their Twitter again.
Oh no.
Oh,
This is
no.
like immediately, like in the last 3 days, like next level sad tweets.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Okay, maybe we need to move on from the.
Yeah.
Maybe this game is banned from discussion now.
This get like
Oh, friend, I'm so
I
sorry.
feel very like I hate kind of shitting on and I don't even think I'm shitting on this game and pointing out the things that are bad about it because I so desperately wanted this game to be good, and it's just not. And then the story, like leading into why this game exists. Like in that he wanted to do a 3D game, and everybody was like, "Fuck you, no, don't do that." And then that's how this game came to be.
Oh, I just read those tweets, and I feel like not talking about this game anymore.
Oh no,
It's really bad.
I'm probably just gonna save myself the sadness and not look because I don't think.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I already DM'd y'all.
Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it then. Let's just go ahead and I'll take the live reaction right here on good old Twitter. Let's see. What do we got? Part of me wants people to play this weird game I'm working on, but the other part is sacred because I know it is an extremely, extremely niche project that I should probably not really. Oh no. The shitty thing about. Oh no. Oh yeah, this is starting to get bad. Okay, I can't read this. No, not right now.
Oh,
and then
John didn't even send me the ones I saw that are worse. I feel.
Oh, thread two. Is the third tweet, and that one is just. It's very, very rough.
Okay, I really
we need to move on. This is uncomfortable.
Oh god, yeah. Like the last thing I'll say about that matter is someone has to stop me from pursuing weird projects and put me on track of projects that hold appeal to people.
Oh jeez.
Oh, it's just that's. Oh,
I mean,
it's so sad that knowing that is kind of where this game came from.
I think if you're trying to make a game with the intent of making money, like making something appealing,
you have to appeal. Unfortunately,
something you have to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Adamine in chat asks, they scrapped the 3D game they were making, and because a lot of people fucking freaked out that they weren't making a follow-up to Momodora. And then they made this follow-up to Momodora, and people didn't like that either, so...
Yeah, like, this is, like, literally the worst this could have turned out for this developer, unfortunately. Man, people that play games are shit. I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them so much.
They keep...
Can we move on to something else?
We probably should, because now I've got a sad...
I played one other game.
Oh yeah? Was it good?
wasn't quite as disappointed by this one.
Okay, thank God.
But I was still pretty disappointed.
Oh no!
I have a very positive one I can bring up, so we can drop that whenever.
Okay.
Levity.
We will have an arc to this podcast that eventually moves up.
Can this be redeemed?
And right now we're at the bottom, I think, between
the dark
Sweet
middle
Code
chapter of the Sockscast is here.
Okay. Remember a couple months ago I played Dishonored 2?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I played the expansion they released, Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider.
Mm.
And I felt like when I played Dishonored 2, I was way too focused on just consume game, finish it, and move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm at a more relaxed place right now, and I'm like, okay, I'll just play this expansion and just live in it for a bit. And I really tried to give it its space and try to enjoy it, and I just kind of really didn't that much. And then I looked on Metacritic afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, people generally
just
did not like this one even as much as the second game.
Well, that's...
They do some interesting things with your powers. Like, they really kind of clean up and streamline it in some interesting ways.
Mm.
You've got, like detective vision in the Batman games. You've got one skill that lets you stop time, leave your body, and just fly around the environment to tag enemies and look at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can even set warp points when you're in that mode, so that when you are back in real time, you can just warp to them if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
They have another one. So your blink equivalent in this one is just basically the same thing, where you can just kind of teleport forward to points that you mark, and you can telefrag into enemies, which is fun. And the last skill they give you is you can choke someone out and disguise as them, and then just walk around as that NPC, and everyone else will be cool with it.
That's
excellent.
That's fun.
And that one's interesting, because the problem with these games is that the difference between killing an enemy and incapacitating them is usually just that the incapacitates take a few seconds longer.
Mm-hmm.
So to use the disguise, though, they have to still be alive. So it gives you some reason to like, oh, I can't kill this guy because I want to use him as a disguise later. And it's kind of crazy that it's taken like 5 games for them to get to that point of like, oh, hey, let's have some meaningful reason to not kill other than the game talking down to you at the ending. Because when I say 5, there were 2 expansions for the first game, and then the second game, and then this. Mm-hmm. Took them a while. So otherwise, though, there is no tracking of good or evil in this one. Like, you can kill everybody, and the game doesn't moralize you for that.
Probably for the best.
Probably for the best, because I started playing this doing a no-kill run, because that's how I ended up playing the second game. Mm-hmm. Even though I started the second game doing a full kill everybody run, and then switched. So in this, I started doing a no-kill run, and then switched, because I got frustrated on just dying constantly. And I was just like, man, fuck this. And I just threw a grenade into a room full of soldiers. And they all exploded, and I just ran in and stabbed the others.
And suddenly it was satisfying.
And suddenly I was having fun with the game.
Weird how that works.
Yeah. Man, the fucking sword combat in this game is so ridiculous, because you do a little bit of damage, like 1 or 2 attacks, and then it goes into a kill animation. Mm-hmm. And the kill animations are like so obscenely over the top, where it's like you slash at their leg and just cut their leg clean off. As they're falling, you cut through their torso and cut them in half, and then cut through their neck as they like pass through your sword again. It's just like, you dismember the shit out of people.
Two of these injuries were not necessary for the death and or incapacitation of your target.
So like, you finish a room full of enemies, and it'll just be like, oh, yep, limb, head, and like, for whatever reason, you can pick all these objects up and throw them around, like physics box. And it's just ridiculous having like this pile of body parts after you're done.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Like, I've always wanted to use the severed heads of mine enemies.
You can throw them at other enemies if you want.
That'd be great. That'd be a great way to freak people out. That'd be a great stealth mechanic. It's just like, hey, here's your friend's head. And then have the AI react to that.
If they actually did, in reality, though, they would just be like, oh no, what's that? Huh? Like a very generic, like, huh? Yeah.
Just a box.
There's one new tool in this, which just, it pulls enemies towards them. So like, you place it's a mine, and you place it on the wall, and they'll have a little like electronic thing that'll just shoot out and grab an enemy. Mm-hmm. So you can set it to passive or lethal. So the passive one just kind of pulls them against the wall and they fall asleep. Kind of stupid. The lethal one grabs them by the head and just fucking tears their head off.
Well, there you go.
But one time I put it on the ground, and it grabbed an enemy by the waist and slammed him into the ground so hard that he just broke in half. So it's just like, oh, upper torso, lower torso, there you go. Like, so like, there is fun in just finally engaging with the murder that I really didn't in the second game.
There's so much fun engaging with the murder.
Yeah.
The murder mechanics are very fun to engage with. Quoted Rhett of the Sockscast.
Listen, probably not even the worst thing we've said on this
No,
episode.
it's hardly the worst thing that's been said on this podcast.
But that's the thing, is like that was the whole kind of gimmick of the original game, is that it gives you all these tools to do very good murder, and then chides you for doing so because it's kind of a story about power corrupting people. Like there was a connection between the narrative and the fact that, hey, the game doesn't actually want you to go around murdering everybody, whereas in this one they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Nah, we've
There's something
reached
nice
that.
about that.
We've reached that
Yeah.
point in society these days, though. It's just like, I'm fine with killing everybody. It's okay.
I think just overall, though, to kind of wrap this up, the level design was really boring. And like made me reflect on the second game a lot more positively, of like, oh, actually, I can remember several different moments from this game that had cool levels, whereas this expansion is just like city block, bank, and a city block, and like real dull environments until the last one. But again, like I was kind of checked out by that point, and then it still let me do the pacifist ending.
Okay.
At the very end, it's like, you want to kill this character or save them, and I chose save because I was like, fuck it, let's go for the good ending anyways, even though I don't deserve it. Video games are silly.
Yeah.
God, so like as a whole though, it really kind of felt like the Dishonored series on its last legs, like mechanically and narratively, especially.
Was there one of these that you liked?
Oh, that's the thing. I fucking love the first game.
Okay.
Everything since then has been like a step down. Like the first game has 2 small expansions, and I like the first one more than the second one. And then the second full game, I liked a little less. And then this was like, I'm done with this. Yeah, there was something about the first game that completely entranced me. I beat it 3 times in a row.
Holy shit! Okay.
I did a very violent murder run, and then I did a no-kill run, and then I did another very violent murder run. Now that I knew like everything about the game, though, because like they give you a ton of shortcuts once you know where they are, you can just fly through that game and like kill only the main targets or do whatever you want, basically. So like, if I played the second full game again, like I might have more fun just having known those levels a little better. But I don't know if I can go back at this point. But yeah, I really like the first one. I just feel frustrated that nothing after that has really clicked in the same way. I know Polly didn't like the first game at all. So
it just bounced in a weird way.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling it. I think that there's probably a mindset I could get into where I would like that game, but when I tried to play it, I was just like, nah.
This one, especially when I was trying to do the no-kill run, it's like, oh, I just hate stealth, right? Because it's just like, you get caught, and then you die, and then you have to reload, and it's just a pain in the ass. I'm just going to throw a grenade into this room. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's a good solution to a problem like that, is fuck it.
And then you exchange the real trick gun for a real gun, and
do that in Hitman Blood Money. That's how you set up.
That's what I was referencing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how you set up one of the quote-unquote accidental kills.
It's very good.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah, Hitman seems cool. Like, the funniest parts in this one are when you're disguised as like a soldier and can just walk straight past all the other soldiers and then just fucking backstab them all because they're all looking in the same direction. So it's like, okay, anyways, stab, and the third guy's just like, huh?
What? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Dude, did you see how these people got stabbed?
Oh, they didn't just get stabbed. They got delimbed and decapitated. Jesus Christ.
Gosh, whoever did that was a little inconsiderate and maybe a little on the psycho side, huh?
Yeah. I have no
Must
idea
have been
why.
the wind.
Oh, right. I just remembered one of the levels from this, of course, is like a reskinned version from Dishonored 2. Because gotta save a little money there.
Yeah.
Gotta use this environment twice.
Yeah.
Oh, they do a whole like 6 months later thing. So like I didn't realize it was the same level until like halfway through, and then I was just like, oh, you got me. You got me, game. You changed it just enough. And it's been like a couple months since I played the second, because if I played it immediately afterwards, I would have been like, oh, it's that level. But yeah.
That's less sad that the first one.
That's what I'm saying. We're doing an arc here.
Exactly. We're on our way up.
So, John, you want to go next?
Polly.
I ain't got nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got something I think we'll all enjoy.
Okay.
I had one quick thing is I did finish TIS 100, and it was super cool and good, and I felt like a big brain super genius because I beat all the puzzles. I beat every single puzzle. I even got an achievement that said I 100%ed it. So I super beat that game, obviously.
So everybody at Faraway Fire on Twitter, let him know how big his brain is and how proud of him you are. He didn't get enough praise for this, and that's all we've been hearing about for the last 2 weeks.
I did take like 4 or 5 hours on one of the last puzzles. The write a sorting algorithm is just the puzzle. And it took me like twice. I was just like, I just had to go to sleep. I can't deal with this. And then I woke up the next day, made a cup of tea, took a shower, sat down after getting dressed, and was like, all right, let's try this puzzle again. Nope, still impossible.
I got weirdly reminded of the Zachtronics games again when I went to Northern Lions channel to check out The Legend of Bumbo. And he name dropped Zachtronics as being one of his favorite developers. And I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
Because it's just not what I would expect from the guy whose career is basically The Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
I get that. I think they're great. I'm really excited to play more of them. Especially, yeah. But my big happy thing, my shining light for the last week after being like, after Suikoden just sucking the soul out of me, I've just been playing a ton of fighting games.
Those can those can be cathartic.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it was like Sunday or Monday. I was like, like I remember it was 2015. I got really into fighters for a bit because I was discovered King of Fighters. I decided I really liked it, and I sampled Street Fighter 2 at the time. And then I was like, you know what? Let's open up MAME. Let's throw on Street Fighter 2: The World Warrior, which is the first release. And then I sat with it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I beat the arcade mode.
Nice.
I felt real fucking pleased with myself because M. Bison was real hard.
Yeah,
I stuck with it.
He's a cheap cunt.
Yep. But
Jesus.
But I stuck with it, and I beat him, and it felt real good. I was like, oh man, fighting games can be fun.
Was it 1cc?
It was not.
Oh
God.
That's where it's really at.
Look, the thing with most arcade games is that if you don't go for the 1cc, they're like completely limp because you just credit feed through them, and it's sad.
Yeah.
With fighting games, you still have to win the fight. Like,
You've got to amazingly win 2 or 3 rounds depending on your game.
Yeah, you have to win.
Yeah.
And all the ones I played, you have to win 2 rounds in a single match. And that still requires a level of like, understanding, not mastery, but it requires a level of understanding where when I reach the end of this story, I feel like I've gone on a journey as opposed to like quarter credit feeding through Reforce or whatnot.
That's fair.
I actually remember my dad being terrified of fighting games, basically, because he put it as like, with a beat 'em up, you can just quarter feed it and you'll win eventually. With M. Bison, you could just stand here all day feeding it quarters and not win.
Yeah, like to my knowledge, I don't know of many or any fighting games that utilize a dynamic difficulty. Like those games just always stay difficult.
Which is really nice.
Because you're not guaranteed progress in a way you are a lot of other genres in the arcade. And that's scary as a father trying to feed your 13-year-old son quarters.
Is he going? Go ahead.
I quarter fed through like a lot of beat 'em ups back in the day, and like stuff like what's the Smash TV sequel? Total Carnage.
Total Carnage.
Like that will fucking suck money out of you, but you'll win eventually.
You will win. You will just spend $16 doing it.
Yeah.
I did keep a tally where I was like, all right, how much money did I spend on this one? I wish I had keeping up with that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But M. Bison, he'll just set you back every time if you don't win those 2 rounds out of 3.
Oh, God. He was not the hardest fighting game boss I've fought.
Oh, no. They get much worse than M. Bison.
So Street Fighter 2 was the first like fighting game as we know them. I feel like is pretty safe to say, right?
Yeah, like when the language became more clear.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Like you have all the different. I love all the different character. I I like the structure of you fight all the characters and then you fight some unique boss characters. That are like do weird bullshit stuff like jump into the background and then attack you. Like it's great.
The idea of that game having 8 characters and then 4 characters that you don't get to play as is kind of wild.
Really
by
awesome.
Today's standards.
Yeah, it's very. It feels more single player oriented than a lot of when I play fighters now. Like it feels like they cared about making an action game.
Yeah, like you can't imagine a game doing that now. Like even boss characters are just playable right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing,
which you lose something when you do that.
Yeah. The fact that this game has 4 non-playable characters, which immediately they retcon in the sequel. But the other thing is that I think is neat is that Sagat is the final boss of Street Fighter 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cute.
Yeah, so if they're for the 2 people that actually played and beat that game, it's a cool callback that he's in it, but he's not the final boss. There's someone above him now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's real hard. Vega and Bison gave me the worst time. But I made it through, and I brought up a little timeline. I was like, well, what was the next big fighting game that was released? And it was also 1991 was Fatal Fury: King of Fighters. Mm-hmm. And I really liked that one. I played through all of it. You only have 3 characters.
You only have 3 characters. Yeah, like that game is another one that's very geared towards the single player experience.
Mm-hmm. And then none of the enemies you fight are enemy only boss characters. Which is also wild. Also, you jump back. You can jump back and forth between like 2 planes.
Yeah, there are 2 planes. That was always weird to me.
Yeah, it can be cool because when you're on different planes, you like face each other and then like are walking back and forth. And there's a timing thing to how you can jump towards each other with a punch towards or away from the screen.
Yeah,
it's cute. And the thing that was cool. Go ahead.
I wonder if that game was in development at the same time as Street Fighter 2. Like, you think they would because they came out so closely.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was Fatal Fury was November, Street Fighter 2 was March. So there was a beefy chunk there of time.
Yeah. But Street Fighter 2 you said took like 2 years to make, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, that was a big production. There's a reason it turned out good.
Yeah. But if they pumped out Fatal Fury in like 6 months, like shit, good job.
Yeah.
Because like one of the better knockoffs of that era.
Yeah, that was really good.
Compared to, like, that Data East crap, basically.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't know what you mean. I don't know the name, but...
Fighters History.
Fighters History. That's on the Fighters Generation timeline I've been going off of.
Yeah.
The cool thing with Fatal Fury is that they have Geese show up in between every level, and then he's the final boss, and he's really cool and intimidating, and he can grab you out of the air and throw you, which is great. So I really like that one. It felt like more narrative-y than Street Fighter 2. I played Art of Fighting, which has just absolutely nauseating zoom in.
Oh yeah, that's when they started playing with zoom in. They got it right with Samurai Showdown eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Art of Fighting zoom is way too active.
Yeah. It's real rough, but I did beat it. And that's this dumbass cliffhanger ending where character goes, X is your ... to be continued.
Oh my god.
It's so stupid. I played all of Fatal Fury 2, which was the hardest one I've played so far. That game kicked my ass just constantly. Every single enemy was an M. Bison, basically.
It's the Devil May Cry 3 of Fatal Fury games.
It has 12 levels, except for the last boss, which I beat in 3 tries. But there's another boss before that where it's 2 or 3 hours of just quarter feeding. And I played through Mortal Kombat 1, which was a nice throwback because I was very much a fan of the movie as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
The movie and the song, of course. Those are big for us. Yeah.
I guess they don't own the rights to that song. That's why it doesn't show up in the games.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
So they specifically license it for the trailer.
Mm-hmm. whatever. It's fine. I played MK9 like 4 years ago, and then I was like, yeah, this is a good time. And then I'll get into the other games, and I never did until now.
MK9 is funny because of how much they intentionally make it feel like those old
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. MK9
I-
is so good.
Yeah,
It really is.
It really is. I jumped to Mortal Kombat 1 like mid Fatal Fury 2, and I was like, oh, this feels bad.
Oh yeah, it's woo
I don't
man.
think that's necessarily Fatal Fury's fault.
No, it's just Mortal Kombat 1 was built as a tech demo for a Jean-Claude Van Damme game. They couldn't get the license, so they were just like, let's make a thing. And this is I think the only fully digitized fighter prior to this was Pit Fighter, and that game's god awful.
Oh my god.
Well, I finished Fatal Fury 2, and then I went back to it the next day, and then I was like, okay, I can kind of jive with this now. This isn't as bad as I thought.
It's not great, but
yeah, but it's not great. It's not SNK. It's not Street Fighter. But the punches feel good. They have some nice impact, I think.
like that uppercut, it just feels good.
That uppercut feels real good.
Boom.
I played as Johnny Cage because he's my favorite. He was my favorite as a kid, too. I love Johnny Cage. I learned all the special moves. I loaded up a 2-player round and then just practiced for like 10 minutes. I'm going to learn all the moves and all the fatalities. And then I got through the game, and it took me like 2 hours to kill Goro, and then
forward, high punch. There you go. That'll knock off his head. If you can, in earlier versions of that arcade board, if you can do the input a lot, you can just keep knocking heads off. It's very silly.
That's just for in the fatality animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I did. I did the fatalities, but you can't beat you still have to beat him first.
Yeah. I was just bringing up as a random point of trivia that in earlier versions of that game, because that game had a lot of revisions for the arcade version, if you could do this forward, high punch input fast enough between knocking off the first head, you could keep knocking heads off.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh,
and then Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 2 has a version of that where you can knock 3 heads off as just a normal input.
I didn't know that was a reference to a bug in the first game. I was I was watching moves from Johnny Cage, and I was like, "What's that? That looks weird."
It's real dumb.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Didn't they basically release a patch for the second game that changed all the fatality inputs?
They did that for every Mortal Kombat in the arcade. That is how they kept people putting quarters in those games.
Man.
Like nearly every revision would change the inputs.
That's so funny.
Because, like, at the time I knew they did revisions to those games, but it's kind of funny thinking of it in a modern context where it's like, oh, they patched the shit out of these games.
Yeah.
Truly ahead of their time.
Mm-hmm.
They released like MK3 was basically unfinished, right?
Yeah, like MK3 was pretty unfinished. Like the early versions of MK2 that are out there are pretty. Like there's like the really early versions of Mortal Kombat 3 that I remember playing where you could do Cabal's animality and reset the fucking machine. Later, like I don't want you having. You're like I'm not giving you the dignity of playing your quarter out. I'm just gonna reset the fucking machine.
These games are so stupid.
They're very stupid. They're very stupid.
The secrets they put into them are hilarious. So, like, Reptile in the first game, and like Noob Saibot is in the second one, right? Like
Noob Saibot, Jade, and Smoke.
Yeah.
Which were all things that were rumored in the first one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, like, with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, like Ermac was a character that was, like... it was a character that would show up, but it was, like, it's not a real character. It just stood for error macro, which was just the game spitting out, you know, an error code. And people thought Ermac was a character you could unlock when it was really just the game spitting out an error code.
It's literally like that. Oh, what's that Pokemon in the first one?
Missing No?
Missing it's like if they put Missing No into Gold and Silver, like as an actual thing.
Yeah. Which they would never do because they're cowards.
And then they put a Mew under the truck.
Yep. Oh, that's funny.
Like,
they did keep the truck in fire red leaf green.
The way they would take the rumors and then make them real in the next game was very funny to me.
Yeah, that's good shit.
I think that rules. I thought the Shang Tsung fight was a little lame. Because
absolutely.
There's
It's
no
Yeah.
there's no new background or song,
No, it's just Goro's lair.
and he only has like 3 frames of animation, but he transforms to the other characters, which is cool. But he just floats. He's just this floating still.
He's just floating still, dude. Like, there's an animation in there of him using a sword, but he doesn't have an attack for it.
Oh man, that's so funny. I like how when he dies, all the others fly out, and the announcer like yells all their names.
Yeah,
Sub-Zero,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So, still a good time. I liked MK1, and I beat Virtua Fighter. That was a good time too. That game's very pretty, and in its own way, I think.
Yeah.
I really like the music.
There was really nothing like Virtua Fighter at the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to understand, like, historical context for that game is fucking unprecedented, really. Like, a 3D fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that game by itself sold the Saturn in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Like, the Saturn in Japan is Sega's best-selling console because of Virtua Fighter, basically.
God.
Like, the Dreamcast and Genesis never took off there. Like, the damn Saturn did.
Mm-hmm. The feel of it's really cool and unique, too. Like, it feels more martial artsy, I think.
Well, that's what
definitely.
it's designed with that in mind. Like, the way that, like, I remember reading interviews at the time where they were like, we set the combo strings up the way that they are, like, based on how the human body would actually be balanced while throwing these kinds of moves out, so that when you do them in game, it makes total sense because the physics are right.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
The physics in that game are totally right.
Well, in terms of how, like,
I know.
Yeah, like, just.
But then you're juggling people with punches
the
and,
juggles
like, jumping 20
and
feet in the air.
the jumps are crazy. But yeah, like, the actual punches and kicks and the way that they come out and link to one another are meant to.
It feels very technical.
Yeah.
And, like,
and that's
accurate.
something that the Virtua Fighter series kept. Like, it is a technical ass fighting game.
Mm-hmm. It is actually very grounded and realistic, right? They're all just fighting on the moon.
Yeah. All good games take place on the moon.
Yes, exactly. I was terrified because I thought the final boss, you only had one chance to fight them, and I was like, this defeats my one strategy of but then I looked at a long play and it said bonus level, and I was like, well, obviously that doesn't count then. So if I don't beat that, it's fine. I still count as me winning it. But then I did get to the end, and I did beat the boss in my first try. So I guess I'm pretty great at the Galaxy Brain fighting game that is Virtua Fighter.
You should go to Evo next year, really.
Obviously, and I'll just pick up Street Fighter 4 and be like, "Oh, this is neat."
Easy.
Boom.
Yeah.
So the bonus boss in that game, Dural, does she just pick like a random character to imitate at the start of a round?
I don't know.
I think that's how it works.
I beat her immediately. I don't know.
Yeah, like she's actually she's just another mimic character, like Shang Tsung is.
Gotcha.
But I think it just changes at the start of a round.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
I want to say one other thing that was funny to me about Shang Tsung is that on CD versions of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2.
Oh no!
When you do a transformation, the game has to pause and load. And CD loading times were fucking atrocious back then.
1x back then on most home consoles.
Like, I have the Sega CD version of Mortal Kombat 1.
It's so bad.
It's like 30 seconds or something every transformation.
What?
Yeah, those games are like unplayable with him.
Like, they're so bad that even the PlayStation 1 versions of like Ultimate or Mortal Kombat Trilogy and shit, you can just disable Shang Tsung morphs entirely.
Yeah. Because he's more of a character, but like morphs still take forever.
Yeah.
Weird.
So like the console or the cartridge versions play way better because of that.
Yeah.
God. Mortal Kombat being as big a thing as it was is very funny to me.
It's so silly. Like, we looking back at it now, it's the silliest fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like, you can never predict what's going to hit. Like, that's kind of the feeling I got when I played the original Legend of Zelda, where it's like, I could make a game like this, but if I made it in, 1987, I would have gotten a cartoon and cereal and, merchandise out the ass and like 30 years of legacy.
Mm-hmm. God.
But so Mortal Kombat just being like, what if violence like
Yeah.
fucking made them $1 billion?
And it sounds like those games, like it sounds like up until like the point where they hit 4, like 1 through 3, it sounded like they just had a blast making them because
Aww.
of just how silly, like it's digitized imagery and you can have a lot of fun with that shit.
Yeah. I loved how. Go ahead. Sorry.
And it's just got this element of camp to it, and like the lore takes itself seriously enough.
Yeah.
That it's very well done. Got a lot of love for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. I was like, oh, this feels bad. I'm not gonna play this. And then the next day, like, actually, I really care about Mortal Kombat though.
There's a lot of camp there that's so easy to just let yourself get lost in, even when the game's being a son of a bitch. Oh, and here's something that might make you feel a little better, might help you. If you play the second player, side in Mortal Kombat 2, it's actually slightly easier.
Interesting.
Great.
Do you play from the right when you do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll keep that
because
in mind.
all of the AI was designed from the left side of the screen, so the AI has a harder time reacting when it starts from the from the left. That's really kind of all it is.
God, that's funny.
Yeah. It's not going to be a walk in the park. You are not going to just fucking walk through this game if you play second player. It just won't ramp up quite as hard.
Oh man, the last 2 bosses in Mortal Kombat 2.
Also, I got to give a shout out to Dick Sensei for the follow. Thank you, Dick Sensei.
Oh, that's just me, actually.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
God. I love how all the characters in Mortal Kombat 1 are digitized actors, but then for the Goro, they actually had a little clay model. That's so cute.
They did that for Kentaro as well.
I love that. I just love that. God, Mortal Kombat 2 is going to kill me. It's going to kick my ass. To
like Mortal Kombat 2...
It's the Devil May Cry 3 of Mortal Kombat.
I'll be Devil May Cry 3, and then I'll come back to Mortal Kombat 2.
Like, there are a lot of characters. There are specific characters, and and where they get placed on the ladder in Mortal Kombat 2 is going to determine who is going to fuck your day up the worst. Because, like, there are some characters that if you get them late, it's just night fucking marish. Because they can counter everything. Huh. It's ridiculous. And Kentaro, the Kentaro and Shao Kahn fights are fucking ridiculous. And I say this as somebody who has beaten the arcade version many times, and I can do it consistently back in the day. So, but those games are, fuck you. It's like those games are reading your inputs so hard. They are doing
aggressively.
They are doing the impossible. They are literally pulling you out of attacks.
Touch the untouchable.
Like, you are clearly landing an uppercut from an enemy that just walked up to you, but he is going to throw you anyway. It's so shit.
Yeah, you talked to me about bullshit, and I was like, well, bullshit can be kind of fun. I think the bullshit throwing out the air.
Bullshit can be funny. Like, there's a funny shit, like, where if you just keep spamming projectiles under certain circumstances, the enemy will stay ducked, and eventually he will just slide over to you. I have seen this happen multiple times to know that I'm not just bullshitting, but I have seen this happen far too many times for it to be something that I made up. I've seen it fucking happen.
I saw a video on how Street Fighter 2 cheats. Like, the AI just has, like, less recovery frames on certain moves.
Yeah.
So, like,
if they charge attack as much.
Yes. Oh, yeah, like, definitely the charge attacks where they can just pull them out.
They don't have to fucking charge at all.
Yeah. But even stuff like, if you do a low kick on this character, a human will, have 8 frames of recovery.
8 frames of recovery, but the AI has, like, 5.
4 frames, and they'll be able to punish you for no reason other than fuck you.
It's a bunch of fuck you.
Virtua Fighter was the first one I played where it actually convincingly felt like, oh, another human would be able to fuck me up exactly like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was cheating, but it was the first one that felt fair, I guess.
Like it's not cheating.
Yeah, like it's not
really good
cheating.
at it.
Yeah, I don't think that's like automatically better because, like I said,
Yeah.
like some bullshit can be you're kind of like parsing out this AI puzzle, like trying to find the exploit. If you
That's
Yeah.
basically what Mortal Kombat and fighting
Yeah.
game, because there are a few people that I watch stream, the Andy Social Network, LRock617, Outworld, who all do fighting game speed runs, and it's just a matter of finding ways to exploit the AI because you can loop AI in these games because it's complicated AI, but it's not complicated to the point to where you can't fucking make it cooperate.
Yeah.
make a dance for you,
Yeah.
dance for
Yeah.
you, girl.
And when you can figure that out, it feels really good sometimes.
Yeah, I googled. I was like really getting angry at Goro, and I looked up YouTube and I saw an exploit, and I did it immediately, and I was like, well, that felt kind of bad.
On the Super
Um,
NES version, all you've got to do is just keep jump kicking him.
I mean, that the thing is that the one I watched, I was trying to jump kick him and it wasn't working,
Mhm.
and then I started jump punching him.
Yeah,
which is
jump
what the
punches
YouTube
in the
thing,
arcade.
and that killed him. That killed him really fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that felt bad. And then I went back. I'm gonna beat him without using that exploit. And then I found the jump kick one,
Yeah.
and I found that myself. So it was an honest win. I feel like.
See, I knew.
That's basically how I beat. That was basically how I beat Mortal Kombat 9. Was just figuring out the one loop
Yeah.
that Shao Kahn wouldn't fuck me over on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I beat that one. That means I can beat MK2, right?
But
Basically just
you'll beat MK2. It'll be fine.
yeah. I bet it will.
Like, and
I like-
I think 3 is easier than 2 as well. So
That's comforting. The end of the first arc of my fighting game journey, I think, is King of Fighters 94, which I'm very afraid of because that one is it's a King of Fighters game, and B, it's the one that specifically has like the most like hated final boss.
yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
It's Rugal.
Rugal.
Yeah. He's
You know
mean.
what's funny? The way you describe it is like the first leg of your fighting game journey, and the fact that it's King of Fighters, which is kind of like the big crossover. It just makes me think of Phase 1 in the Avengers movie,
I mean, yeah.
where it's like everyone coming together.
I mean, I'm literally like art of
That's
fighting.
literally
right?
what it is.
Yeah. I wish they put Samurai Showdown in there.
Yeah,
Is
that's
kind of
like,
the one I liked. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
King
dip
of
my
Fighters
toe. I did tip my toe into Samurai Showdown. It's mind blowing how it's so
It's
pretty
so
and
good.
so detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like knock swords out of each other's hands, and it feels amazing.
Like it's
Ugh.
it's got like that awesome feeling hit stun too.
Yeah.
And it feels especially good when you actually clash blades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Samurai Showdown was the one that felt like, oh, this is next level.
The
This
Samurai
is,
Showdown
You're
and
good
Last
side.
Blade are just next level shit.
yeah.
That's Samurai Showdown's Phase 2,
Oh yeah.
for sure.
I mean, no, Samurai Showdown 1 was before King of Fighters 94. So
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's on
really?
my list. Yeah. And then
Cool.
ultimately in 1996, the real star is Dead or Alive, obviously.
Hmm.
That's how I get into Dead or Alive, Rhett.
Oh. You said, I wasn't sure what you're saying, sorry.
Dead or Alive, yes.
Dead or Alive.
The titty game.
The titty game. Yeah.
Yes, I know now.
Okay, good.
I'm kind of interested how that holds up compared to Virtua Fighter.
That's a good question.
Oh man, you gotta jump to the PS1, you gotta play Battle Arena Toshinden.
I like that game. As
You
a
think
kid.
you think you like that game. You should go play that game now and let me know.
All right.
The final boss has very dramatic organ music, while Wind Hollows. I have to show that to John. It's so good.
It's so dumb.
Takes itself so seriously.
Yeah.
100%.
God. So that's my fighting game journey. The one beacon of light in the darkness that is Suikoden. And I even booted up Streets of Rage for a little bit, and like, oh, I love this now. I never liked beat 'em ups.
Oh,
I
really?
think I think it's literally just like these games aren't like R-Type where I'm moving a blob around the screen and then the blob gets hit by a bullet and then I die and I know, oh, what I should have done is not get hit by the bullet.
Right.
With fighting games and with beat 'em ups, there's a couple extra steps between failing and then figuring out why I failed. And those extra steps are very intimidating to me. It's the same reason I've mostly stayed away from the 3D beat 'em ups as well.
Streets of Rage is gonna be, like, that's a trip I hope you enjoy, because 1 and 2 especially are 2 of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, I booted up 1 and I was like, oh, this is incredible.
Crunchy as fuck.
Amazing.
Crunchy as fuck. It's got an amazing soundtrack, better than 2's. That's just my own hot. That's my hot take, is that I think that Streets of Rage 1's soundtrack is better than 2.
I want to join you in that delicious hot take. And also I've just played, like, I think it was Kingdom Hearts 1 where I was just like, I wish they'd just let me fight people. Yeah. Like, I hate all of this dumb stuff that isn't fighting.
Why is everybody talking?
No, it's not the cutscenes. It was the event flag hunting.
Oh yeah, the event flag bullshit,
which is miserable in Kingdom Hearts 1. And then I played Chain of Memories, and it's just fighting, and I'm like, oh yay! And now I'm playing beat 'em ups, and I'm like, oh, this is mostly just fighting. I like this. I actually like this. Oh, okay, fun. Okay. So
eventually, this will lead to the Yakuza games, which are beat 'em ups with a lot of RPG in them.
I own 0. I'm gonna dig into it at some point.
Oh right. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, I think fighting games definitely evolved directly out of beat 'em ups. That feels like a one-to-one thing for me.
Well, like Fatal Fury, Final Fight started as Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they literally are connected like that.
Yeah. I love video games again. Oh god,
I'm gonna play more. I told you this was gonna have an upward arc.
I'm going to play Suikoden 2 more after the podcast, but y'all aren't going to have to hear that, so the arc will be maintained.
Nah, I think you should stream it.
Oh, God.
I can't. It's on my Vita.
Oh, fuck, man.
Don't worry. I'll stream Ultra Despair Girls.
All right, yeah, we need that. I need that kind of depression in my life.
Polly, why?
'Cause,
what if he laughs?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, look, nothing surprises me anymore.
I feel like however that goes down, I feel like we're in a good place.
We're in a good place. I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm. I know. Rhett, do you have anything else?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I watched some anime.
Go for it. Hell yeah.
So no more video games this episode. I watched some anime.
Fuck video games.
Fuck video games. Get them out of here. Nobody needs that garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking... So... Last week I talked about how the anime on Netflix is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Lots of it.
So I was looking through there being like, is there anything that I haven't watched that might be good? And I came across a show. God, this is going to be a weird bit. The show is called... Wait. Oh, I forgot the name for a second. Love, Chunbyo, and Other Delusions.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
This is a KyoAni joint from, I think, 2013. Mm-hmm. So, do y'all know roughly the idea of Chunibyo?
I know what Chunibyo is.
Also known as eighth grader syndrome.
I figured it out when I got... I figured it out when I got really into Unlimited Blade Works. Just like really into it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what I am right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think... So, the show is about a guy who's starting high school, and he was a huge Chuny in middle school, and he's trying to leave that part of him behind. Mm-hmm. So he went to a new school that's really far away from his middle school, so all new people. And then he immediately meets this girl who is 100% into it still, and, like, she is just, oh, the dark demon living behind my eye. I have to wear this eye patch. Oh, the society, all this nonsense. Like, we must search for the invisible boundary line and what lies beyond it. Like, so she's super annoying has latched onto him for some reason. And I kind of got the idea of Chuny. It's like, oh, it's how Kyoma acts in Steins Gate.
Yeah, it's Steins Gate.
Like, it's 100% that. Where,
this is reverse Steins Gate, where it's the girl that's pulling the guy into it.
Yeah. And he was trying to get out, but they pull him back in.
Right.
So basically, I kept trying to think of an angle, how to talk about this show, and I think the funniest thing for me is, like, when I watched the show and I realized, like, oh, oh, this was me in 8th grade too.
Oh no. Oh
Like
no.
I was not out and like annoying people with it, but just the way I think of like, oh, like 7th and 8th grade, that's when the whole in3 thing started. Like that whole universe of
Right,
characters that I
right.
made. And like, the character of Vex was very prominent to me back then. It's
Oh.
like, oh, I was totally in that phase back then. And like having that realization was funny to me.
I think that's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very wholesome to me.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, if he's like, this is still her. Yeah, it's true.
Mhm.
And it's the same with IF in the Neptunia games as well. She's
Yeah.
big old Chuny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's better
they
than
make
being an objectivist in 8th grade.
Oh, jeez.
Continue.
So the show kind of starts as a comedy, and then they introduce some more characters, and it kind of slumps for a bit, and then it becomes a bit of a drama and romance at the same time, where it's like it's kind of revealed that this girl who is fully on Chuni mode has some issues that she's dealing with. Like there's a reason behind all this,
Mhm.
like why she's kind of not accepting reality because of some stuff that went down.
Right.
So like the show is kind of about trying to drag her back to reality.
Mhm.
And so I ended up liking the show more than I thought I was going to, basically.
Mm.
I'm like, and then there's the season 2.
Oh.
It keeps on going.
Just keeps
It
doing
doesn't
that
end.
thing, huh?
Yeah, so I glanced at my anime list, and before watching it in season 2, the reviews were basically disowning it. Like,
Oh, whoops.
people are like, there is no season 2. Just treated this as like a good one season thing. Like really kind of overly negative.
Mhm.
I've watched a bit of season 2 so far, and the vibe I'm getting is just kind of like filler almost,
Oh.
where it's very clear of like they're doing episodes that are just shake the status quo a bit, but then immediately reset it by the end of the episode, and that's
Oh.
frustrating.
Yeah, it's
After
like, when you say they're like disowning it, I'm thinking, is this Il Teatrino?
kind of like it's not that it's overtly bad. It's because it's the same studio. It's still Kyoto Animation. It's still based on source material, but it's like I don't know, just the way it's not progressing the story basically is what
Right.
really people kind of got cheesed off about. Then I read something really wild in that I had found out earlier that one of the characters in season 1 they actually invented for the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out that another character they also invented for the anime. And I was like, oh, geez, so you just invented these 2 characters so that there would be 4 girls.
Oh.
And it's like, because that's the thing they do in those shows ever since K-On!
Yeah.
Is that there has to
there
be
have
4
to
girls.
be 4 girls. It's like the formula.
Because it's
Yeah,
the number of death.
Because like Sound Euphonium does the same thing where they kind of push these specific 4 girls as the main squad, even though the story doesn't really involve 2 of them whatsoever, but they just kind of get pushed to the forefront for no reason.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of weird. And then I found out that a 3rd character is also invented for the anime, and it's the Chuni girl's older sister. And I don't know how they managed to invent her for the anime only compared to the light novel, because she's like the character that drives the entire plot forward, where she
geez.
has no time for her little sister's shit with her delusions of
Right.
demons and stuff. And she's the one like pushing to get her accepting reality.
Mhm.
And so it's super weird that that character doesn't originally exist in the original text. Because then season 2 starts and she immediately goes to Europe.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so they kind of immediately write her out.
Whoops.
Like in touch with the light novel, which is obviously much better.
Yeah.
Gotta be faithful.
But I mean, given how some people like season 1 the most, it's like, oh, well, kind of lightning in a bottle there, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cute show. It's like, season 1 was definitely more of an emotional arc than I ever expected it to be, and then season 2 is kind of what I expected it to be, where it's this very light and fluffy, weightless. Yeah, I was going to say light and fluffy, and you just say weightless, like perfectly describing it. So this maybe came out a little more negative than I thought it was going to. I had the idea of like, what if I just stopped? What if I just watched season 1 and then stopped because I didn't want to ruin the precious memories of season 1? And it's like, well, I didn't like it that much. I'll be fine.
Oh,
Now you got to go back and change your score for season 1.
damn it.
That's the joke I was hinting at, but I'm not. I would never do something like that.
He's not that vindictive. He's not a spiteful. He's not a
gonna
spiteful little bitch like some other people.
I was gonna say I wish somebody had warned me to keep myself from ruining my precious season 1 memories.
Damn.
Season 2 is the good one, John.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, I watched one more anime.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me if you've heard this one before. I was on Netflix looking for some good anime, not the trash that they normally have.
Well, there's your first mistake, Rhett.
So I saw that they had something called... Oh, I really should write these names before I don't. Give me... Oh, okay. They have a thing on Netflix called Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, The Battle of Unato. And I'm like, is that a sequel? That sounds like a sequel.
Sounds
the way
like
there's
a sequel.
There's a colon in that title. So I look up, and sure enough, it is. It's a sequel movie. They don't have the original.
Oh.
The original Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress TV series is only streaming on Amazon Prime.
Of course.
Which I do have, so I watched it over there.
Oh.
So this is a show that, for whatever reason, I've basically never heard of anybody talk about.
The name just literally meant nothing to me.
So here's the weird part. This is by Studio Wit, the one that does a little show you may know as Attack on Titan.
Oh, right.
And it's got a lot of the same staff.
Huh.
It's got like the same director and the same music composer.
Huh?
So this is like fully from that studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe what puts people off about this show is that it's actually a zombie show.
Oh. Okay. Well, you already lost me.
So I was kind of surprised by that going in, but it's also it's anime shonen zombies basically.
Mm.
Where like Attack on Titan is a shonen show, but there's enough going around it that it's like it's tolerable basically.
Well, or I look at it more as like if I'm gonna watch something like that, I'm just gonna watch High School of the Dead because it's dumb.
The show is also
that's
very
a throwback. Oh, that's a throwback.
This show is also very dumb, but in a good way, where it's just like.
But so is High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead is super good and dumb.
It's dumb and sexist, though. Like,
well, it is, but you know.
This show is more like extremely stylized zombie killing,
right,
is how I would describe it. Mm-hmm. Where like they don't have like quite the aerial maneuverability of the Attack on Titan characters do, mm-hmm, but they're basically doing the same kind of martial arts, flying kung fu with guns to take out these zombies, and that stuff's very cool.
Yeah, I get you.
And if you really think about it, the Titans are just very big zombies.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's that same level of violence of like the murder is very good when people get eaten by these enemies. It's
very good.
They're not called zombies. They're called kabane. They're called kabane, which I guess is just Japanese for like corpse or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are a couple characters that get infected, but they survive. So those are the kabaneri. They have the strength of these zombies, but the mind of a human still.
Right.
So those are your protagonists.
The subtitle, the translation is Cabaneri, and then the original Japanese one, they just say zombie in English.
Yeah, of course.
Just get the foreign word in there.
Yeah. Another interesting about the show that I noticed is that it's extremely pretty, just animation-wise, but the character design is super 80s for some reason. Like, you know the whole thing about, like, 80s OVA being kind of worshipped, like, mm-hmm, because of how much shading they put into everything? Like, this show actually does that, where you can see, like, on a character's hair, they will have the light portion, the dark portion, the super dark portion, and the super light portion. Like, they are doing, like, 4 levels of shading, mm-hmm, on everything. Mm-hmm. So it's super nice looking. Like, unbelievable. It's like, it's the idealized 80s OVA, but, like, made in 2013. Mm. And it looks super nice.
Right.
So I was looking at the staff last night, and I found the character designer. Here's some previous shows that he worked on. This one's called The Super Dimension Fortress Macross.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Character designer.
Yep.
Oh,
Macross, Do You Remember Love? Character designer.
Yep.
Mobile Suit Gundam War in the Pocket. Character designer.
holy shit!
This shit doesn't matter because Nobuo Uematsu worked on Fairy Fencer F. Fuck that nonsense. Just because somebody high profile works on something doesn't mean it's not a turd.
But I'm saying the character designer worked on Macross 7.
Mm-hmm.
There was one. Gunbuster, character designer. So like all these classics of
Right.
the 80s, and then you have Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, character designer. So like it's not just that the show is looking like the 80s style, it's like it comes from
that place.
like that actual designer from back then. And I thought that was interesting that he basically came out of a 20-year retirement to work on this show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I really
love
like
that
this show.
aesthetic.
Yeah, it's a very good aesthetic. I wish this wasn't a zombie show because it is kind of it's so much potential kind of put into this maybe a little generic setting, obviously. Oh, also it's steampunk. So
I love that. That's like 10 minutes in.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's I'm just probably like murdering Polly right now, where I'm like talking about this 80s looking steampunk zombie show.
It's very much the not Polly show. Wow.
But it so could be a Polly show because there's the main girl Mume, she murders very good.
I like murdering.
Yeah.
Murdering is always good. I'm a proponent of murder.
She kills the shit out of these zombies.
In High School of the
And
Dead, there's a bullet that passes between a girl's titties in bullet time.
Yeah, nothing like that happens in this show. Weird.
It's
There's
real
no
dumb
headshot.
and good.
There's no weird sexist shit like that in
Look,
this show.
I will fully cop to High School of the Dead is sexist as shit, but man, it's real funny about it.
It's very funny. So anyways, I watched the whole series and liked it a bunch, and then I watched the movie on Netflix, which they inexplicably split into 3 episodes. And you know, like when you're watching a movie on TV and it does those awkward fades for commercials?
Oh no!
They do that! I don't know why. It's fucking Netflix. Just put it up as a movie.
That's weird.
The weirdest... So like air quotes, episode 1 just ends with an awkward fade to black, and then episode 2 just kind of starts like there's no like emphasis like end of episode. It's just abrupt cut to black and then the ending credits. Episode 2 into 3 though is like even worse, where it just kind of cuts in the middle of a scene after a thing happens. And then the start of episode 3 is just like a full minute of previous scene footage, and then just doesn't fade out. It just keeps going.
Weird.
So like I had to go back and see it because on Netflix it faded to black at the end of episode 2, and I just hit skip intro on 3, and it just jumps 3 minutes in to exactly where you were.
Wow.
So I just have no idea why they would
do that.
That's
because
that's
it's
a
Netflix.
clusterfuck.
It's so weird because it's like the movie isn't that long. It's like an hour 20 minutes in Japan, so it's not quite even like feature length. But I don't know why they would edit it down into 3 episodes like this.
Right.
Because they still end up being like 35-minute episodes or something. Because then they put openings and endings on all of them. It's just super weird. And then the movie I didn't think was as good as the TV series, and then it does a thing at the end that I love so much. I was like, oh, I'm bumping it back up to an 8. Like, because the series ended pretty abruptly, where it's like they beat the last boss. Okay, end of series, and it's like, oh, that was a little rushed there at the end. This one gives a good like 5 minutes of closure at the end. So it's like, okay, I can, move on from the series now, even though they might make more. Like, this only came out, like, in May in Japan. Like, They got this imported pretty quickly. So I think they've said, like, they consider the movie, like, part 2 of 3 for the whole series.
Interesting. Cool.
But yeah, it's zombies in Japan. So they ride around
Zombies in Japan with like cool 80s animation
on
and
a train.
steampunk.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, on a train?
Yeah, that the Iron Fortress is the train. I didn't realize until I finished the entire series because they just call it the Koyukichuchu or whatever, and they never say.
You want to repeat that for me?
No, I absolutely don't.
I feel like you should repeat that for me
They
because
just say the Japanese name for Iron Fortress without ever saying that the name of the train is literally Iron Fortress.
Well, you should tell me what it is in Japanese. You should tell me.
Nah, I definitely shouldn't.
I think you should because I need to be refreshed.
I'm going to Google the name so I can say it correctly.
Correctly. He's going to say it correctly. Even when looking it up.
You got this, Rhett.
Oh, God. I'm reading the Wikipedia page. I can't find the name quick enough. Let's just move on. Oh, okay. The name of the train is the Kotetsujo.
Okay.
There.
The Kotetsujo. Yep.
Yeah.
The Kotetsujo.
It was fun. It was only funny to me because the entire time I thought they were heading to the Iron Fortress, and then turns out the Iron Fortress was the train all along.
Sometimes the real Iron Fortress was the train we made along the way.
Exactly.
Sometimes we watch Haruhi Suzumiya.
Oh, shut up.
So the whole thing's on a train?
Not the whole thing. They stop in these towns, and then the towns immediately get invaded by zombies every time.
Okay.
It is just they leave this wake of, well, that station has been overrun.
Maybe if they just stayed in one place, the zombies wouldn't go there.
The zombies seek out blood.
Yeah, so like if they just, it seems like the zombies are following these people around.
Well, no, the zombies are actually like completely all over Japan.
Oh.
They just try to find the fortresses that are defended well and fail. Whatever. That's an episode, I think.
Cool.
All right. So I guess it's time, once again, to start winding things down. But before we do, Red, why don't you tell people how to send us their Game of the Year lists?
Just send a text or MP3 of you reading the list, less than 5 minutes long, please, to podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
Good summary. Good summary.
It's podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
It actually is. It's actually podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
Podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
John Thayer, where can our lovely internet pals find you residing?
Podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy. Farawaytimes.itch.io.
Right.
You actually can find me at podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net because I'm the one that checks it.
I don't bother that shit. I got people that run my Discord. I got people that read my email. I don't do shit. I gave up on this piece of shit website years ago.
Jesus.
You've been saying that joke. You've been making that joke for years.
I have. I got people for days. And of course, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Of course, it's always great having a live audience here. And of course, if you downloaded it, you're okay too, I suppose.
If you pirated our podcast.
You're pirating this wonderful content. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here. So, from us to you out there, we are the podcast that loves you. We're the only ones that love you. Stick around. I'm going to shoot you guys on over to After 5, more than likely, who is playing Valkyria Chronicles, which is a very good video game, and he somehow keeps lucking into victory. He
can't keep getting away with
it. He just keeps doing it, though. He just keeps doing it.
Unless it was a landmine, then he...
Unless it's a landmine, and then he eats 2 of them in a row. I love that shit. She just bounced off of one right into the other. His reaction to it was so good, too. I can't thread it! Look at this.
Hey, is Valkyria Chronicles a better war game than that other one?
Yes, it's very good at the war part.
Cool.
He's trying to sneak up on Salvaria. Oh, can he do it? I'm watching him now. He He's using Edie and he's sneaking up on Salvaria. Going for the headshot. Look at this baller. Look, he's got an undodgeable shot. Holy shit. He did it. He one-shotted that bitch. Operation complete.
Red brought up Gundam, and I was like, oh, that sounds much more thoughtful about war.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and press the stop streaming button now and shoot y'all over to After 5. Be sure to give him a follow, give him a hi while you're over there. We will catch you folks next time. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the bits. All that fun stuff. Later.